Again here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at
little bit of clouds beginning to dampen the impact of the high energy sunshine here on this last Friday night in August. It is 0 week. It is time for Rougher football. And Nick, as the band, the cheerleaders, and the dance prepare to welcome the Roughers to the field, the captain's meeting out in the center of the field, and we're just about ready for the 2023 season to get underway.
Well, the Roughers are certainly ready. They had their scrimmage last week. Maybe a little bit disappointing offensively for the Roughers. They turned the ball over 2 or 3 times, and that was kind of a disappointment. But they learned a lot in that scrimmage against Bixby. Overall, the Roughers return a good chunk of the offense, missing Jaden Bell, of course, who was a big play guy for them last year. But they've got a lot of weapons back. Jamarian Bird-Ficklin at quarterback, Andre Beasley, good set of receivers, and an offensive line that is very experienced and large. Most of the questions for the Roughers will be on the defensive side, where they've got a couple of linebackers they've had to replace and a couple of people in the secondary. So we'll see how that goes tonight. Enid is a team that lost a lot of talent last year, so they come in with a new coach this year in Cameron Condor, and he's installed a new system, and we'll see how they look in their first outing.
Certainly, Nick, I think it bears to show exactly how big a part players like Jaden Bell, who's now at New Mexico State, and Brandon Tolbert, who maybe was overlooked because of his diminutive stature. The word is he'll get the start for Central Oklahoma, University of Central Oklahoma, this week in their home opener.
Yeah, good pedigrees for those two guys, and that's good for the Roughers as far as establishing the talent pool, and they're going to have a lot of guys off this team that are going to end up going to some of those places as well. Of course, Wesley Harvey's already committed to TCU, so they've got guys that are signed up or ready to sign up.
Captains meeting in the center of the field. Enid has won the toss and elected to receive. Roughers will defend the south goal. That means it'll be for that chance for the Rougher defense to come out and flex its muscles early. And Nick, I think it's important to look at that defensive front that the Roughers will use with Anthony Watson, Vernon Papiakata, Tion Brewer, and Parker Pellet, of course. Tion Brewer getting a lot of attention from the college circuit, so as well as Watson and Papiakata picking up. The linebacking core, Travion, T.T. Houston will be in the middle. Coda Barnowski will be on the strong side. And then Tim Moore, a young man that last year kind of burst into the scene as the season went on, had 40 tackles a season ago. He'll be at the weak side backer. On the corners, you've got Jaden Swanson and E.J. James. On the safeties, the pick man, Deion Bowler, who last week in the scrimmage against Bixby picked one off at the Roughers' 1-yard line and took it 99 yards for a 6-point interception return. He'll join Anthony White on the opposite side. Really expecting some high energy from the Rougher defense, because this is a group that has maybe been a little overshadowed by the success of the offensive unit, but certainly last year when you look on the scoreboard results, they posted 3 goose eggs in another game where they only gave up 3 points. It's a football team and a defensive team that's got a lot of pride.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned some of those guys like Tim Moore. Had a good season last year for the Roughers, coming in and playing as a sophomore, did a good job. And maybe the guy during this offseason that's made the most noise on defense has been Coda Barnowski. He, of course, is the backup quarterback, but he's turning some heads playing the linebacker spot, and he earned the starting position there this year.
You can tell there's a new level of high energy as the Roughers take the field to the roar of the train horn.
A new level of noise effects.
Thanks to Dr. Mendenhall for inserting that pregame hype as the Rougher fans get ready to settle into their seats and we get ready for tonight's opening kick. As we mentioned, the Enid Plainsmen and their first-year head coach, Cameron Condor, who was the offensive coordinator last year for Rashawn Woods, comes in with only 3 starters back on his offensive unit, but one of those is a quarterback, a 6'1", 180-pound junior, Aiden Robinson, who's got a lot of potential. And the guys on the outside, Carmelo Washington, Zaire Allen, and Bennett Percival, or as the coaches call them, 1, 6, and 11. They're the guys, the Rougher defensive guys, are going to have to keep some eyes glued upon, but then also defend that trench and not let the running back, Blake Fusca, or Josh Withy do a lot of damage.
Let's take a look at the other games going on in 6A2 this week. Booker T. Washington playing at Bentonville, Arkansas. Capitol Hill is at Ponca City North. Dell City is at Choctaw. That'll be an interesting game. Deer Creek at Edmond North. Ponca City plays at Guthrie. Putnam City's at McGinnis. Sapulpa and Sand Springs renew the Highway 97 rivalry. Stillwater plays at Greenwood, Arkansas. And last night, Putnam City West easily decisioned Western Heights 56-0.
Clayton Rowland will be one of the two deep backs for the Plainsmen, along with Brady Bierschmidt, as the Ruffers prepare to kick off. During the kicking off this season for Muskogee will be Richard Valente Espinosa, as he'll put it on the tee at the 40-yard line. The referee's whistle sounds, and we're seconds away from the opening of the 2023 campaign tonight here at Indian Bowl. There's the kick. More of a line drive squib toward the boundary. It'll roll and actually be grabbed, but it went out of bounds before it was touched by the Enid Plainsman. So that'll be the option for the Plainsmen, either to have a re-kick or just take the ball at the 30-yard line. Officials tonight are Richard Calhoun, the referee. Mark McDade will be the umpire. Terry Owens, Brandon Queen, and Ronald Snoddy, the other members of this 5-member crew.
And I think they're going to make them kick it again, it looks like.
Well, just back them up and see what happens.
Well, they're going to start at the 35, so I guess that's where they're going to take the ball.
All right, so the ball will go to the... You're right, Nick. It should be at the 35-yard line to begin. Always a lot of mechanics to get worked out in a season opener, not just for the pregame festivities, but also for the officiating crew.
Well, now I think they're going to rule that maybe he touched the ball before he went out of bounds.
So the ball apparently is going to be placed at the 22-yard line. Condor will come out and try to question, but his offensive unit will gather. And Aiden Robinson, the quarterback, will be up front. The center, Tyler Gamble, a senior. A big, wide, swinging gate type situation. Ruffers will try and align to it. The snap goes. The throw goes back to the outside. There's a wall of blockers as the Ruffers get over there quickly and finally gang tackle, punishing the receiver Zaire Allen out on the far boundary. But a nice gain from the 22 upfield to about the 27-yard line. So it'll be a gain of
The Plainsmen have the ball. Second down.
29, 7-yard line. 29-yard line and a 7-yard pickup. Now the more conventional set with two wide receivers going to the wide side right, as Robinson will work from the gun. They'll motion across, they'll turn, throw to the outside. Catch is made off a block, getting to the corner and getting the first down yardage. Tyson Kennedy out on the boundary. Came off the block of one of his teammates and was able to scamper upfield from the 29 to the 37-yard line. An 8-yard pickup, but more importantly, a first and 10.
So 2 for 2 for Robinson off the start of the game.
Trips go wide to the left this set. Play action, handed off in traffic. Ruffers close the gap and force the running back to slice off to the left. There's no running room that time for Fusca. And it'll be virtually a yard gain upfield to the 38-yard line. Just opening 2 minutes of action tonight here at Ruffer Village. Muskogee at home against the Plainsmen of Enid. Ruffers last year 10-2. Plainsmen going 6-6, including a first-round playoff win in 6A1. Running back off the left shoulder as Robinson again this time will hand it off to Fusca, and he runs into the middle of that defensive front. Vernon Pepiakata, Tion Brewer and company closing the gap. So that'll be...
He even lost a yard.
I think he did, back to the original line of scrimmage at the 37-yard line. So got one on first down, lost one on second down. So it'll be a third and long situation. Interesting to see, Nick, how well the Plainsmen can pick up on third down conversions here tonight. Twin receivers go wide left and right. As Robinson this time will have Fusca off his right shoulder. They'll bring motion across the formation. Back in the pocket looking for the slant. Ball is picked off and dropped. Oh, it was so wide open.
E.J. James had his hands all over that one.
He took the gamble, stepping in front of the receiver and went high to put his hands on it, but couldn't bring it down. But it's just as the same, Nick. Although you don't get the takeaway, you do force a 3 and out.
Ruffers brought 4 that time as Moore blitzed off the linebacker spot. but pretty good protection by the Plainsmen keeping Robinson protected.
So now the Plainsmen will be doing the punting. It'll be Aiden Robinson, the quarterback. He does a lot of things for head coach Cameron Conder. Snap is back, kicks away. Fielded on the move at the 30, the 35, and getting out to about the 37-yard line for Muskogee was Dion Bowler. And that'll bring Muskogee's offense to the field for the first time here in the opening quarter. 9:38 left to play here in the first 12 minutes of action. The Ruffers will say start from their own 36-yard line, with Jamarian Ficklin and company to bring the offense to the field.
27-yard punt, excuse me.
Latavian Johnson will be the running back. They'll hand it off inside to Johnson, who breaks out a tackle, 40 and across the 40 up to about the 43-yard line before the Plainsmen can find the jersey. It's Cody Stallcup making the tackle. The gain will go from the 36 to the 43, a 7-yard pickup on first down.
This will be an important part for the game for the Ruffers, is really trying to establish that running game a little more this year. It's kind of sputtered the last couple of years.
McGee, Beasley, and Swanson all go wide to the right. Ficklin back in the pocket, flush, rolls to his right, throws underneath, catches. So wide open.
Wide open, Swanson.
So wide open, Nick, my hands go up in the air, my pen goes sailing way behind us. The pass intended for Jaden Swanson.
Swanson there was wide open. Someone busted coverage out there on the wing for the Plainsmen, and Swanson was all by himself out there. That was probably touchdown if he'd been able to haul that in, because there wasn't anybody around him. But as it is, it'll be a third down now for the Ruffers.
Must reach the 46-yard line to move the chains. 9 minutes left here in quarter number one. Still no score. Scoreboard update brought to you by Nissan of Muskogee. Slot receivers to the left. Johnson will line up off the right side. They'll bring Beasley in motion. They'll counter. Hand it off in traffic. Big hole. First down yardage to some as Johnson will backpedal across the 45 and still maintain his balance, pushing the pile upfield to about the 48-yard line. More than enough for a Ruffer. First down and 10. Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. First down and 10.
5 yards on the gain for Beasley. That'll be big. Or Johnson, excuse me.
The ball will be on the 47-yard
The ball marked
line.
at the 47-yard line. Clock running here in the opening quarter of play. Ruffer football this season brought to you by Cornerstone Funeral Home, by J. Hodge Chevrolet, Bravado Wireless, and Pioneer Abstract, along with Innovative Renovations, LLC. Trips again, go wide to the right. Ficklin straight back in the pocket. Good protection. Steps up, waits, throws down the boundary. Wide open as the receiver, trying to dive and get it. Kind of held off in the motion. I don't know if Swanson thought Bird was going somewhere else or not, but then once he saw the ball in the air, tried to turn on the jets, just couldn't get to it, and the pass falls incomplete.
Again, Swanson pretty much wide open on the play as the Plainsmen having some trouble in their secondary coverage.
Ruffers in their home green jerseys with the white numerals, those flat green helmets with the white stripe right down the middle, the white pants. Plainsmen in all white trimmed in blue. Ficklin on 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. Twin receivers go wide and left. Play action. Throw it underneath. Catch this time is caught by Swanson. That's Beasley, rather.
Yeah.
He'll get from the 47 up to about the 49. A gain of 2. Ruffers will have their second third down of the night.
Just a little quick, kind of a screen kind of play, but the Plainsmen did a good job of breaking through and not letting him get any kind of yardage after the catch.
Ruffers needed only 3 on their first third down conversion. This time they've got to pick up 8 to move the chains. Johnson this time off the left hip of Ficklin. Faked the pitch and got collared right around the neck. As getting there quickly was Jeraden Russell. Coming in off his defensive end spot, the 6', 220-pound defensive junior. Stopping that actually for a loss of 2.
Yeah, back to the 40.
So it'll be 4th down and 10, and the Ruffers will have to punt.
Well, probably not what Travis Hill wanted to see out of his offense on his first possession. The offense has been just a little lackluster, I think, in his eyes during the first scrimmage against Bixby and then the inter-squad scrimmage a couple of weeks ago.
Clayton rolling back to return. Ficklin takes it, puts it up into the sky, and angles toward the sideline. It kind of goes off the side of the foot. It's not going to be a very long kick. Line of scrimmage having been the 47-yard line. And where will they mark this one out of bounds? Right at the
30, looks like.
30.
23 yards on the kick.
So with 7:14 left to play here in quarter number one, still no score. Muskogee and Enid, Ruffers here tonight. Next Friday night we'll travel to the metro area of Oklahoma City and taking on the Pirates of Putnam City. So Enid with their second offensive series started the first time from the 22. They'll start this series now from the, looks like at the 31, Nick, as they mark the ball ready for play. Official trying to reset the shot clock, the game clock, yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah, he's trying to make his hand signals up here. I think he'll put it at 25. And he'll mark it ready to go on the snap. Aiden Robinson, starter a year ago at quarterback, waits in the backfield, hands it off in traffic, trying to scamper free upfield and gets a little surge from his offensive line on the forward shove. Gain of about 4 yards on the first down carry. Once again, Blake Fusca, the junior running back. This offense, Nick, very young, very needing to gain experience for the Plainsmen. Only 3 starters back from a year ago, and 2 of those in the offensive front line, Brock Sullivan and Dylan Nelson. So the gain goes from the 31 to the 35, a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6. Robinson with a long cadence, stands in the pocket, wanted to throw, dropped the football, now he has to scramble for his life and just throws it away, and it's picked off! Diving effort by the pick man, Dion Bowler! Boy, you talked about turning a golden opportunity. Bowler saw it, it was going to be short, almost incomplete, and at the last minute he dives turf level and scoops it off the field for his first interception of the night. And the Ruffers get the takeaway. They'll start 1st and 10 at the Bixby. How about the Enid 36-yard line?
Good break here for the Ruffers. Now let's see what they can do with a little shorter field situation. Maybe move that ball a little bit more on offense now. They've gotten kind of the butterflies out on that first drive. Let's see if they put things together a little bit better now.
Not certain what the signal from the official on the field was there, but there was a penalty flag thrown. Might have been a celebratory flag.
It's thrown way downfield.
It was. So they'll walk it off from the previous spot, which was the 35-yard line.
It's a big one, so it's moving back across midfield.
It'll go all the way to the 49-yard line. The interception will stand for Bowler, but the excessive celebration penalty, I think, is what they're going to rule that, Nick. And the Ruffers will get the football, but they'll start, instead of from the 36, they'll start at their own 49-yard line. Ficklin this time with twin trips to his right side. Waits, wants to go long. Looking to go to big play McGee, who draws double coverage at the last minute. The pass a little bit long. Just haven't been quite on sync last week in the scrimmage at Bixby. And then here early on tonight, Ficklin perhaps a little bit hyped up.
But, that first possession, he missed 2, but they were dropped by Swanson, and he was wide open, and the ball was on the money for the most part on those 2 passes, so it hadn't been quite all on Bird.
He passed for 2,803 yards a year ago and 38 touchdowns. 5,131 yards to his career with 56 scoring tosses. Now motion, counter, handed off back in traffic. Again, this is Johnson slicing through a gap, twisting his hips, and fighting his way across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. That's a tough 4-yard pickup, but a good effort that time by Latavian Johnson. It's nice to see the 5'8", 175-pound junior, Nick, determined to pick up those yards after contact.
Johnson, good strong runner. He's really he's worked out a lot in the weight room during the summer, according to the coaches, and so he's putting on some muscle to try and get a little bit stronger on those runs.
Twins come to the boundary left side. They'll hand it off again inside to Johnson. He's going to be wrapped around the ankles. His diving inside was Britton Combs, the linebacker.
Carried by Latavian Johnson.
Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play. It'll be 4th down and 6, and the punting unit back aboard.
Just barely got Johnson by the ankles that time, did Combs, and managed just to knock him off balance enough for help to come and knock him down.
Now the Ruffers will send Jamarian Ficklin in punt formation. As back deep will be Tyson Kennedy on the return. Ficklin this time a more of an end-over-end kick that Rowland will catch at around the 13. Comes to his right, out across the 20. Stiff arms a would-be tackler up the boundary. And finally will be corralled upfield around the 32-yard line. Nice 16-yard return that time by Tyson Kennedy. And the Plainsmen will get the ball back for the third time here in the quarter. 5:05 left to go in the opening 12 minutes tonight here at Ruffer Village. Still no score. Enid and Muskogee. Scoreboard update brought to you by Nissan of Muskogee.
Kennedy doing a nice job there after he made the catch on the end-over-end punt. And then he managed to avoid a couple of guys. Braden Henry was there as one of them. Kind of got around him and scooted, as you said, for 16 yards. Yeah, now the officials stop play again.
Referee saw something he didn't quite like and came over to the Ruffer sideline.
Not sure what this discussion is all about.
Clock showing 5:05 left to go here in quarter number one. Ruffers have picked up a couple of one first down on their first series, but then went 3 and out on the last possession.
And whatever it is, they break it up. Travis Hill comes back over, seems to be unruffled, so I guess we're ready to go.
Robinson this time with Rowland to his right on this formation. Hard count. Ruffers come up the middle with a blitz. Pass is thrown and through the intended fingertips of the Enid receiver. That time was Desmond Middlestead.
Big Vernon Pepiakata bursting up the middle that time. Had his hands in Robinson's face and just about was able to get to him.
Forced Robinson to perhaps throw it a little bit earlier than he would have liked. This time Plainsman will put twin receivers out to the far left, single receiver to the boundary right. Robinson takes the snap, throws quickly out in space, has the receiver rolling 35, breaks the first contact, goes across the 40 up to the 41 where he's brought down on the play, but he gets the yards needed, a 10-yard pickup, and a 1st and 10 for Enid. Making the tackle was Anthony White.
Tyson Kennedy on the reception. Gets him his second grab of the night for 18 yards now.
It's just a quick release. It's an RPO type run-pass option, but not much run situation for the Plainsmen. And Robinson quick. It's hard to get pressure on such a quick release by the Plainsman quarterback. Now, play action series here. Handed off in traffic. Again, this is Fusca, the junior running back, ducking underneath the oncoming defenders for Muskogee. The game will be marked upfield from the 41 to the 45. A net pickup of 4. 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Buffalo Wild Wings, Excel Physical Therapy, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, and David Cobb State Farm Insurance, helping to make possible Ruffer football in 2023. 2nd and 6 for the Plainsmen. Counter, handed off. This is Rowland dancing to his left. Ruffers surround him and then will stand him straight up and push him back, stopping the forward progress upfield from the 45 to the 47 to pick up a 2. Enid will have its second 3rd down of the night. Have to go to the 49-yard line in Ruffer territory to move the chains.
So 3rd and an uncomfortable 4 to go for the Plainsmen here.
Zaire Allen will be the single receiver to the boundary left. They'll put a bunch of receivers grouped in tight to the right. As Robinson on the head count, going to throw behind a wall of blockers. Ruffers had it well defended and come up and stop it, breaking through that initial wall. But Coda Baraski said, not this time. He was the first Ruffer to get there, along with Travion Houston.
And Dion Bowler also helping out. So no gain on the play, and
a 4th down situation.
Down and 4.
3:05 to play here in quarter number 1. Enid nothing, Muskogee nothing. Ruffers here this Friday night. Next Friday night travel to Putnam City, and then we'll be back for their 3rd encounter of the season. An expected 1-versus-1 showdown between the Ruffers and the Titans of Carl Albert. Split receivers either side. Play clock down to 2nd. They didn't get it away.
You call timeout,
but a timeout just barely taken by the Enid sideline, and we'll do the same. 2:40 to play here in the opening quarter. We'll pause 30 seconds. Still no score. Muskogee and Enid on Ruffer TV.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Back to Ruffer Village. 2:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Plates are taking a timeout, and now I think have brought the punting unit aboard.
Robinson is the punter also.
There are eligible receivers up on the line of scrimmage off to the right side. Would Cameron Condor want to roll the dice here? He's got Chavez and Thompson out to the right side, as Robinson will stand back inside the 40 to take the snap. Good snap. It's a little high, but Robinson able to flag it down. He hits a driving kick that Bowler will just let bounce. It'll go end over end toward the sideline, and inside the 10, it'll go out right at the Ruffer 5-yard line. So a nice punt from the 47 in Enid's into the field to the opposite side. That's a 48-yard punt with no return. And Muskogee will start with his poorest field position of the opening quarter. 2:33 left in the opening 12 minutes. Still looking for their first points here in 2023.
They'll mark it at the 7, actually, is where they'll say it went out. So the Ruffers having their hands full here. So far haven't been able to accomplish just a whole lot on offense.
Beasley and Johnson will be a twin back set this time with Bird in the middle of that. They'll reset the game clock, the play clock. I guess I'll finally get my right termination here in a moment, Nick.
Third possession offensively for the Ruffers. They got one first down in the first possession, then went 3 and out last time.
So Bird with running backs behind him goes up under center. The quick pitch to Beasley trying to get to the corner. Beasley outside of the edge. 10, 15, 20, 25, and out near the 30-yard line he goes. Doesn't take much for him to get to the corner. When he does, you better be on your pony and run. 25-yard gallop by Andre Beasley on just a quick pitch. And Beasley takes it from the 7 to the 32. That's more than enough for a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, first down and 10.
That's what we want to see out of the running game for the Ruffers. It's that quick pitch, and then the thing the Ruffers did so well last year was that end around with Bell that they ran a lot very successfully.
I have a feeling we'll see that as the season progresses. Beasley this time will be the single wide out to the left, Watson in the middle. Play action by Ficklin, open hole. Up the middle goes Johnson, 35-40. Out near another first down, right at the 42. He looks like he's got 10. Will they move the chains? So, mark it just shy. So
now they move it.
Now they move it. So it's a 10-yard gain and another Kyle Edwards Buick Ruffer GMC. First down and 10. Have you seen the new Ruffer GMC?
No, I haven't.
It's a nice green one down on the lot there on North Main. Test ride tomorrow. Go out by and ask my buddy Cecil to help you with a new vehicle at Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. Twin receivers out to the right side. Again, bring motion across the formation. Beasley coming to his left. Looks to cut up field. Ooh, got a great block. Cuts up the field. 50, 45, 40. Now out to the boundary. He'll try to outrun everybody. He's got more than enough gas to get there. And he scores. A 58-yard run by Andre Beasley and a crunching block from Javon Washington to spring him the distance. And the Ruffers with 1:17 to play had their first touchdown of the 2023 campaign.
Well, what a nice run and a great block by Washington. He came over last year, got eligible, and then has seen himself in a backup role and a good block there for the Ruffers.
Richard Soto Morales on to try the PAT.
Ruffers a man short on the line, so
start the play clock. Have to hustle in the right personnel. Low snap, ball's down on the key. It splits the uprights good. And now with 1:17 left in the opening 12, put 7 on the board. Credit the running game And Muskogee has its first touchdown of the 2023 campaign. Back in 30 seconds on Rougher TV.
Jay Hodge here with Rick, a man of few words. Wow! That's one of them. And when you see the savings at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, tell him, Rick. Wow! New Silverado's 1.9% financing or $5,600 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
New Silverado's 1.9% financing.
Wow!
Now at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee,
144 West Shawnee.
Welcome back on Rougher TV tonight from Rougher Village. Rougher's first series started from their 36, got a first down before having to punt. The second series after the Bowler interception was a 3 and empty. But the third possession goes deep in Rougher territory from the 7-yard line. And it took just 1, 2, 3, 4 plays with Andre Beasley doing the majority of the hard work, including the 58-yard scamper for 6. Soto's PAT makes it Muskogee 7 and Enid nothing.
Ruffers off and running offensively. That's a good start. Get that first one in.
Espinoza, the 5'6" junior, on to kickoff this time. Hangs it up in the sky. Plainsman will field about the 20 on the boundary. We stopped at around the 30-yard line on the return. See where our officials will place the ball ready for play. Right out to the 30. Where are they going to put it, Nick? 31?
Anthony White making the tackle on the special teams. Put it right at the 30. First down for the Plainsmen.
Enid with their 4th chance of the opening quarter have picked up 2 first downs in their offensive series. Robinson with, again, the running back behind him. Waits, throws up the boundary, out there and open for a moment with Zaire Allen coming over quickly, trying to close on the play was Anthony White.
Allen had a couple of steps on him, had the ball in his hands for just a moment, but White got over there and helped knock it loose.
That's one of those that Steve Craver will hold his breath and, oh, thank you, because the receiver flat out dropped the ball after being so wide open. Fusco to line up to the left of Johnson. Twins go wide to the left outside the hash. Play action, handing off to Fusco, breaks the first arm tackle. Is able to burst upfield for about a 2-yard pickup on second down, leaving a 3rd and 8 situation. Rougher football of the season brought to you by Serpro Muskogee, by Century 21 First Choice Realty and its managing broker Monica Medley, along with Honda of Muskogee.
Ruffers have done a good job containing Fusca in the running game of the Plainsmen. He's got just 10 yards on 5 carries.
Now 3rd down and 8, needing to reach the 40-yard line. Rolled out by Robinson to his left, throws upfield, intended for Allen, makes the grab behind the defender. Got a half step behind Jaden Swanson and a perfectly delivered toss from Robinson. Able to move the sticks going upfield from the 32 to the 43, an 11-yard pickup and a needed first down as we're inside the final 30 seconds here of quarter number 1. Quick snap, handed off to Fusca, tried to wiggle free, breaks the first contact, the second, drives those legs forward, pushing his way across midfield into Rougher territory down to the 44-yard line. 7 up, 6 down, 13 yards on the ramble. Quickly, no huddle situation. Robinson going to hand it off again to Fusca coming near side. Flags are down as he breaks the first contact and gets downfield to about the 33-yard line, but there is yellow laundry loitering the field.
That's probably going to be some kind of procedure call, you got to think, maybe against the Plainsmen.
Could be an illegal formation, not enough people up on the line of scrimmage. Our referee will indicate the flag. Why do we always guess that it's against the offense?
Well, he first signaled an eligible receiver, but since it wasn't a pass.
Or illegal participation, perhaps. Rougher coaches are complaining about it. Appears that the ball will remain at the 33-yard line if that's the case, which would have credited an 11-yard pickup for Fusca on that last play.
They wave the
now
flag
they're going
off.
to wave the flag off. So the play will stand, nevertheless. And Fusca they'll actually put the ball, Nick, at the 32, so it'll be a 12-yard run from scrimmage. 1st and 10 for Enid.
So after we brag about how the Roughers have stopped Fusca, he gains 25 yards on 2 carries.
So 2 wide receivers, Allen along with Kennedy, are out wide to the left. Fusca this time off the left shoulder of the junior quarterback, Aiden Robinson. Play clock down to 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Low snap, picks up, hands it to Fusca. Comes off the block, gets hit initially by Travion Houston. But not before the forward progress downfield to the 29, a 4-yard pickup. Final seconds run off the clock, and the opening 12 minutes of the 2023 campaign is in the books. Muskogee 7, Enid nothing. Back in 60 seconds. This is Rougher Football 2023.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to thrive for decades on end, and that's a people-first mentality. Bravado employees live within our existing coverage area just like you. Our kids go to the same schools and play in the same leagues as yours. That's why so much of who we are consists of giving back to our communities, because your community is also our community. We are your family, your neighbors, and your leader in wireless mobility. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Back on Rougher TV from Rougher Village, 12 minutes played. Ruffers with a 7-0 advantage thanks to the 58-yard run by Andre Beasley. But the Plainsmen coming back in their next series, having started from their own 30, have used 6 plays to move to the 29-yard line of Rougher territory. Again, handing to Fusca, trying to go right side. Ruffers standing up after about a yard gain downfield to the 28.
One other score on the board tonight in 6A, 2 so far. Choctaw and Del City tied at 6 each.
That's a matchup of talent. 5A level Del City. And Choctaw, of course, the defending state runner-ups in 6A2. 3rd down situation for Enid. They've only gone to 3rd down once in this possession. Have to go to the 22-yard line to move the chains. Robinson in the pocket, waits, throws across the middle. Catch is made right at the down marker. On the little slant route across the middle.
Maybe just a bit short, though.
Receiver that time was Tyson Kennedy. Going to be marked at the 22.5. We'll just call it 5-yard pickup. Make it 4th and inches. Believe the Plainsmen will go for it here.
4th and 1, the ball will be on the 22-yard line.
Fusca, you might expect to be the guy to take the handoff. Robinson on the counter, gives it off to Fusca, has 1st down yardage as he'll fall forward near the 21.
Tim Moore again on the tackle for the Ruffers there. Hits him by the ankles, but not before he gets that yardage needed, and the Plainsmen continue the drive, now 1st and 10 of the 21.
10th play in this possession for Enid that started back at the 1:12-minute mark of the opening quarter. Ruffers leading it 7-0. Enid on its 4th series, their best field position of the night. Robinson with Fusca, the running back. Twin receivers outside the hash marks, far to the right side. Robinson going to throw across the middle of the big tight end, wide open at the 10, at the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown. The big tight end, Bennett Percival, on just a wide open release. The catch and run and a 20-yard touchdown pass from Robinson to Percival, and the Plainsmen have answered the Rougher score.
Percival doing a nice job on the route, ducked inside between the linebackers and the secondary, made the grab, and then just carried his big 6'1" frame on into the end zone for the score.
Kevin Vega, the freshman place kicker, stepping onto the field for the first time tonight, trying to tie this game up. snap, ball's away, kick is blocked. Nope. It's through, it's good. My bad. 7-7 the score on the PAT conversion. 10:04 to go, second quarter. Muskogee and Enid locked at 7. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Rougher Football 2023.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
Bill Uddleston, Nick Hampton back with you at Ruffer Village on this 0-week battle between the Ruffers of Muskogee and the Plainsmen of Enid, who have a little edge to their step, Nick. That time going 10 plays, 70 yards, the scoring pass from Aiden Robinson to Bennett Percival, and the extra point to tie the score at 7-7.
And nice running by Fusca in there to kind of keep the Ruffer defense somewhat honest.
So now the Plainsmen will kick off. Vega will put it on the tee. Respectable crowd on hand here tonight, considering the weather conditions. Angle the kick to the sideline. Fair catch taken, so the Ruffers will get the football at the 30-yard line. Start this possession. See if the Ruffers can do what they did a moment ago, Nick. Didn't take them long to go the length of the field. 93 yards, just 4 plays with Andre Beasley. 58-yard scoring cross-country rip.
And Beasley getting 83 of those yards on the drive with the 2 big runs.
Ficklin this time with Johnson to his left. Takes the snap, hands it off. Through an open hole goes Johnson. LJ on the leap forward. Out to across the 35, call it a 6-yard pickup.
The Ruffers doing a good job on the run, alternating between Beasley and Johnson. So far, Bird's only thrown 4 passes in the game.
Ruffers trying to establish a running game, which would only benefit its passing attempts. Twin receivers go either side for Ficklin, the junior quarterback. Play action. Waits, throws across the middle, wide open Beasley. 50-45, jukes one tackler at the 35, spins out of that, 25-20. Good night, Irene. Andre Beasley with his second touchdown of the night. Touchdown, Ruffers on a 64-yard pass and run. Ficklin to Beasley, touchdown. Muskogee, touchdown. James Hodge Chevrolet.
Tell you what, Ruffers and Beasley having a career night so far. 1 long run, 1 long touchdown catch. Count for the Ruffers scores.
Well, that's one way to flip the mighty momentum. Is on to try the PAT for Muskogee will be Richard Soto Morales. Ball is down, the kick is on the way, it looks good, and it is good. The train horn sounds in the background as the Ruffers put up another touchdown on the scoreboard. With 9:17 to play before halftime, it's Muskogee 14 and Enid 7. Back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2023.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Years, Wheeler Recycling buys all types of furrious and non-furrious metals.
Back at Rutherford Village, Muskogee giving up its first touchdown of the season on the preceding possession for Enid. Come right back and strike quickly. Nick, that's like trying to go from the light switch to the bed before the lights go off. And Beasley, once he caught that and spun out of that one tackle, was not in any danger of being tackled. And it goes as a 64-yard touchdown strike. Bird to Beasley, the BB connection. And the Ruffers have their second score of the night and lead at 14-7.
Touchdown for either team in the space of less than a minute there for offensive-minded folks.
You know, as hot as it's been, I have been a little bit reminiscent doing my own lawn services, but nevertheless, I could count on mi amigo Antonio Zapata and the crew from Zapata Lawn and Tree Service to come out and get the yard in ship shape. If you need help with your lawn or tree services, landscape, or even later on in the year with Christmas lights, remember to check with Antonio Zapata Lawn and Tree Service, a friend of Rougher football.
Espinoza to kick it away for the Roughers.
Swings the right leg forward. It's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. Up to the 25, across the 30, off a contact, and finally dragged down on the return.
Rolling.
Good return by number 2, Clayton Rowland.
Clayton Rowland, the sophomore. You look at this roster, Nick, and you see a lot of skill players. You see a lot of potential in a very young football team. A lot of those youngsters were just freshmen last year when seeing playing time, and certainly are stepping into the bright lights here in 2023. Still, it's what you would officially call an underclassman as a sophomore. 35-yard line, the line of scrimmage for Enid as they start this next series. Stacked receivers out wide to the right. Robinson's going to throw underneath. Catch is made at about the 33 and falling forward to the 36.
Gain of about 1. The Boston, the ball will be on the 29.
I think that was Zane Wiggins making the reception. So a 1-yard pickup from the 35 to the 36, second down and 9. Allen will come to the near side as the far wide receiver on the left. Robinson, little fake handoff, going to call his own number up the middle, out across the 40. Tripped up as he crosses the 40 and out to about the 43-yard line.
Nice run, keeping balance there.
7-yard pickup brings up yet another third down on the night. Plainsmen have converted on two of 4 chances to this point here in the half. 8:10 to go before halftime. Muskogee 14, Enid 7. Plainsmen on the move with twin receivers wide, left and right. Robinson hands it off, trying to juke to come to the near side and hit and punished. That time was Clayton Rowland, and he got hit hard by those 2 Rougher jerseys and green helmets that came in a hurry, including Trevion Houston, along with some help from Dion Bowler.
Yeah, he tried to maneuver his way around those 2 guys and fake this way and went that way, and they just said, we'll have none of that, and they deck him for a yard loss.
Back to the 42-yard line. So now we'll, with a 4th and 3 call, Connor is going to stay with his offense. Trying to catch the Roughers a little bit out of line, trying to get a hard count to get the Roughers to jump. Nobody's biting on this one. And now a timeout will be taken by Enid. 7:16 to play before halftime. Muskogee leading the Plainsmen 14-7. We return in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2023.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Welcome back at Rutherford Village on this 0-week battle. Muskogee and Enid. Ruppers with 2 big plays from Andre Beasley. One a 58-yard run, another on the receiving end of the pass from Bird. Jamarian Ficklin hooking up for the 64, and a touchdown Muskogee. 14-7 Ruffers. Fourth and 3 for Enid. They'll line up out of the timeout, still with the quarterback for the Plainsmen. Back in the pocket, waits, wants to throw. Upfield pass is caught, breaking free at the 50, 45 down the boundary. Ruffers dropped back pretty much in prevent and then couldn't break fast enough, and
E.J. James had the beat on him there, but couldn't wrap him up or knock him out of bounds.
And there's a penalty thrown after the play, Nick, back on this sideline.
Flag on the play.
The gain goes all the way to the 41-yard line in Rougher territory. Not certain what this huddle of the Stripes is all about, but we'll wait and let the officiating crew tell us. I think the flag was thrown toward the Rougher sideline, perhaps. There were a couple of penalty flags down on the play.
A lot of discussions here early on.
As many discussions going on here as there is in Atlanta in the courtroom. And I'm certain different opinions on both sides.
So the flag was thrown just about the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going to come back.
Our referee here will give us the indication. Illegal substitution on the Plainsman. It's a 5-yard walk-off, but it'll wipe out a big play on a 4th down gamble. And you know the Enid coaches have got to be a little bit more than displeased because they converted on a 4th and 3 situation after a timeout, Nick.
Yep.
But he gets erased on a 5-yard penalty back to the 35-yard line. It would be a punting situation now on a 4th and 8.
So Robinson will come in to punt it away as the ball now back at the Plainsman 35.
7:07 left to go before halftime. Muskogee 14 and Enid 7. Always first game you have personnel situations on substitutions and on these special teams. Bowler will be the man back deep to return for Muskogee. Good snap back. Robinson one-step kick is away. Backpedaling his Bowler to his 27, looking to get a block, finds a crease across the 30, 35, still on his feet up across the 40 and out to about the 43. Then there's
one of the Roughers comes jumping in late. I don't know if he was pushed or not.
Well, we'll find out which way this penalty will go. It's out to the 43-yard line.
Roughers may be called for a unsportsmanlike maybe here. We'll see.
One of our new partners on Rougher Football is Century 21 First Choice Realty and managing broker Monica Medley. If you're, the housing market is kind of like a roller coaster. Well, when you're looking for the right new home, a place to relocate your family, the person to call is Monica Medley and her team at First Choice Realty, Century 21 in Muskogee.
And that was the call. Roughers are called for personal foul, so that'll move the ball into. Or excuse me, Enid was called for the personal foul. So that gives the Roughers the ball now in Plainsman territory.
Well, you gave the right interpretation of the signal from the field, but the penalty is against Enid.
So they're apparently going to say that whoever that was for the Roughers got pushed in there.
So the 42-yard line is where Muskogee will start 1st and 10 with 6:55 to play here before halftime. Trying to add to their advantage on the scoreboard. Ficklin bringing Beasley in motion. Hands it off to Bees, coming to his right, waits on a blocker. Got one, 40, 35. Explodes through the small crease and takes it downfield to the 38-yard line. But
that block by Anthony Watson may have been a little too good.
May have been a little from behind, you think?
Maybe so.
Holding is going to be the call against the Roughers. The game would have gone to the 30-yard line, would have been more than enough for a first down, but that holding call is going to wipe it out.
Ant-Man shows his disgust with that call as he comes off the field.
Offensive line this year, plenty of experience up front. Tion Brewer, Wesley Harvey, who's already committed to play college football at Texas Christian University. The guards, Vernon Pepiakata and Caleb Houston. And the starting center, a 3-year starter, Braden Henry, 6'1", 260-pounder. I would like to challenge any first-grade teacher to teach their students how to spell Vernon's last name.
Or pronounce it.
1st and 10, or actually 1st and about 17. Ficklin steps up in the pocket, breaks free of a tackle, jukes another tackler, and then finally from behind gets shoved down. Really had no place to throw the ball. He was under pressure from the snap.
He'll lose a couple of yards on that one.
The guy had gone from the 49 in Rougher territory to the...
Get some of it back.
44 on the opposite end. So they get 7 back of the 10-yard penalty. And the Ruffers will face a 2nd and 13. Yeah, pronunciation, okay, you go to the language arts. One of my proficiencies in the classroom, though, was always the spelling bee. 2nd and 13. Ficklin with protection this time. Waits, wants to go deep down the boundary, adjusting to it. McGee, he's
got to be interference.
There comes the flag. McGee was adjusting the football and stepped inside of Rowland, who just grabbed McGee for the takedown. I guess a pass interference penalty, Nick, is better than touchdown.
I guess.
Clock will stop with 5:48 to go before halftime. But that'll move it more than enough for a first down, as the penalty will move it from the 44 to the 29-yard line, where it should go, right?
I guess, if they get it marked off here.
Officiating crew out of the Tulsa area, walking off this 5-yard penalty.
15.
Excuse me, 15.
That does give the Ruffers a first down then at the 29.
At the 29-yard line by penalty, but there's never any red flags when you go to Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. They'll give you the right price and get you on your way in a newer used vehicle. Drive by their location on North Main. Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. Ruffer, first down and 10.
Well, you've got the greatest segues, I'll tell you what.
I work on those. Ruffers this time with Latavian Johnson off the right shoulder of Bird. Takes the snap. Hands it off inside for Johnson. Cuts back to his right, 35, 20. And tripped up on a shoestring tackle by the Plainsman. Isaiah Randall making the stop, but the gain is 12, and another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. Ruffer, first down and 10.
Great cutting by Johnson that time as he went left, then cut back right, avoided a couple of tacklers, and got 12 on it.
So this series that began at the 42-yard line after a personal foul penalty on Enid, overcoming a holding penalty. The Ruffers now have it first and 10 at the Plainsman 17. Ficklin again giving off to Johnson. Started left, cuts back to the opposite side. Out on the boundary with Watson in front, trying to lead the way. Opens a block, takes him to the end zone. Touchdown! No laundry this time, and LJ will get his first touchdown of the season on a 17-yard scamper. Starting to the right, seeing the wall, and the door was closed. Picked up a blocker, got to the edge. Anthony Watson says, come on, I'm going to lead you to the end zone, and Johnson is in for the touchdown.
Tell you what, once he got to the outside, you could see that unfolding because the Ruffers definitely have a speed advantage in this game.
So the drive takes 4 plays, low snap, kicks up on the way, and it is good. 5 minutes, 10 seconds, blow that horn. Ruffers have put another touchdown on the scoreboard. They lead Enid 21-7. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton back with you on this Friday night. Welcome aboard to Ruffer TV, as well as those of you listening via radio on our partner station, KTFX Okie Country 101.7.
Well, after the Ruffers kind of sputtered on their first couple of offensive possessions, they've now scored on their last 3 to run up the 21-7 lead.
Ruffers at home tonight, next week on the road, going to Putnam City. 2 weeks from tonight, right back here at the Village, taking on the state's defending Class 5A state champion and the preseason pick to repeat, the Titans of Carl Albert, which the Ruffers beat on their home turf a year ago, Nick.
Yep. That was a barn burner.
It was
shootout.
Indeed, but I think, just set the Ruffers up to believe in themselves for the rest of the year.
And gave Choctaw and gave Carl Albert some momentum to go on what they did.
Absolutely. So now the ensuing kickoff, this one is down the middle angling toward the far boundary. 25 on the return, coming back to the left, 30, 35, runs into ball loose on the field. A scrum for it. As the return man of the Plainsman, Brady Beyerschmidt, ran head on to a rougher and lost the football, but in the scrum for it, Enid comes up with the pigskin.
Another penalty on the flag, right about the place of the pileup. Personal foul against the Roughers.
Going to call a head slap on one of the Roughers. So that drew the ire of the crowd down below. And I'm certainly a little ire from the Rougher sideline to go along with it. Exactly 5 minutes left in quarter number two, rather. As Enid will take over first and 10 as they walk off the 15-yard penalty after the return all the way to the 49-yard line in Rougher territory.
So that ends up being a pretty nice play on your kickoff, starting in Rougher territory.
But now trailing by 2 scores, 21-7. Johnson this time with the running back. Fuska to his left. Direct snap, throw back to the opposite side. Catch made in space. Got a nice block out on the boundary.
Pass complete to Kennedy.
And Tyson Kennedy making the catch, and he'll go from the 49 down to the 40-yard line, a 9-yard pickup. That run-pass option, Nick, you got an extra man out there. You got one guy defending. You kind of just set up a wall, build a wall, and let the receiver run and get what he can.
Nice block out there, too, by Mason Bennett, who was out there on the play.
Second and a yard to go for the Plainsmen. Handoff in traffic, bouncing off the first wall of contact, but able to keep his speed and churning downfield from the 41 to the 37-yard line. So a 4-yard pickup and an Enid first down and 10 at the Muskogee 37-yard line with 4:20 left to go before intermission. End of the half, we'll take a break, come back, and try to look around the area for some other scores. First down handoff. Fuska on the carry. He'll twist off the initial contact in the Muskogee defender, Trevion Houston, but finally being smashed to the turf as Tion Brewer got his hands on him. But Fuska will go from the 37 down to the 31, a 6-yard gain.
13 carries for 57 yards for Fuska so far tonight.
Timeout taken by the Roughers. Defensively, we'll do the same with 3:49 to go before halftime. Muskogee 21, Enid 7 when we're back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2023. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton back with you on Rougher TV. Glad to have you aboard for 2023.
You mentioned Carl Albert as an opponent a couple of weeks. They're playing tonight. They lead 17-7 against Coweta. Another big game on the other side of the state. Del City's moved ahead of Choctaw now, 19-9.
Aiden Robinson will have Fuska to his right shoulder. His inside is a blocker is Bennett Percival. 2 wide receivers out on the far right. Robinson back looking for Bennett, throwing across the middle, and Roughers that time had it well defensed. They knew where Bennett Percival was going to roll to on that little bubble release. Houston kind of got into the path, and there were a couple of other green jerseys there to make sure the ball fell to the turf incomplete.
Third down and about 4.5 now for the Plainsmen.
If you run it here, Nick, because the ground game's been effective.
I like the little short
I look for that little RPO passes, out there on the edge, yeah. Mm-hmm. Stacked receivers, left and right. Robinson takes the waist-high snap, calls his own number, bounces to the edge, 30, 25, and finally shoulder tackled to the ground at around the 21-yard line.
Roughers busted defensively that time as no one took the quarterback.
10-yard gain and a Enid first down at the Muskogee 21.
First carry of the night for Robinson.
Clock showing 3.5 minutes to play here before halftime.
Well, the Plainsman would like to knock one in here and get back within hailing distance.
Motion across the formation. Robinson's going to pick it up, throw out on the edge. Rougher defender slips down, but gets to his feet in a hurry and able to make the grab on Blaine Parks. Is getting up quickly after slipping down was E.J. James. The game will go from the 21 to the
14?
13-yard line is where they're going to mark it. An 8-yard pickup on first down.
Gives Robinson 80 yards through the air now tonight.
Ball will be on the 14-yard line.
Again, the same motion across formation. Fusco will take it, bounce to the edge at the 15, at the 10, slides through and falls forward down to about the 9-yard line. That's not Fusco that time.
That's Josh Whitney. Withy.
Yeah. 5'11", 210-pound senior running back, but it's more than enough on what was needed. From the 13 downfield to what will be the 9. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Enid. So the Plainsmen trying to find a little motion for themselves. Starting this drive at the rougher 49-yard line. Going to call his own number, the quarterback. Aiden Robinson pulling it out of the belly of Withy, and he'll fall downfield from the 9 to the 5. Trying to use as much clock time as they can here, Nick. 2 minutes exactly to go before halftime. Plainsman trying to punch in a retaliatory score. First and be 2nd down and goal from the 5. Split receivers are out wide to the right. Handoff up the middle goes Fusca between a crease, and I don't think he got to the goal line. He got very, very close. Little trap play right up the gut. Going to come up about a half-yard short.
3rd and 1-yard line.
So that's a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down. Quarterback going to keep it himself.
Quick play, and Fusca got it, and he's in.
On a direct snap?
Nope, it was handed off.
So the touchdown run for Fusca, and just like that, Enid, with 5 minutes, starts the drive, and they use 3 minutes and 44 seconds to march 49 yards on the Roughers.
Got good field position off that personal foul penalty following the kickoff.
9 plays, 49 yards. Kevin Vega, the freshman place kicker, left-footed place kicker, will be on to try to make this a 7-point game. Gonzalez to hold on the PAT try for the Plainsmen. The ball down, the kick's driven through the uprights. Good. And that'll make it a 7-point game. Muskogee 21, Enid 14. Back to Rougher Village after the 60-second timeout on Rougher TV.
Rougher fans.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com. Proud to be a Muskogee Rougher, Honda of Muskogee.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
Our super friendly staff is here to give you the best value with honest and fair service. Call 918-68-HONDA or go to HondaMuskogee.com.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
Welcome back on Rougher TV. 1:13 to play before halftime. Plainsman on the kickoff. Roughers take it on a fair catch to not use any clock. Actually, 1 second expired. How that happens, you're not really supposed to start the clock until the guy makes the forward progress. But nevertheless, Roughers will get it. They'll start from their own 30-yard line.
Let's see if Travis Hill will try to air it out a little bit here and see if he can hit the long ball here before halftime.
See what kind of magic the old wizard of offense, Chris Reisenhuber, can dial up with his quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin. Back in the pocket, Ficklin looking to throw. as he does.
Hit
up
that's
the boundary.
complete.
Caught by Beasley again at the 50. Slips and falls as he was trying to come back to the near side. But the game will go for a 22-yard completion. And another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC rougher first down and 10, make it a 21-yard as they move it back to the 49. 1 minute and counting here in the opening half. Ficklin again in the pocket, blitz up the middle, Bird adjusting to it. Now coming to the boundary, sees the sideline and gets over on the edge and out of bounds to stop the clock. Gain will be downfield from the 49.
The 44, looks like, 5 yards. So 2nd and 5. Clock stops as the Bird went out of bounds with 53 seconds to play before halftime gun.
53, that's a good year. For obvious reasons on my part.
If you say
you
so.
figure it out. Yeah. We'll talk about it here in a few weeks when we celebrate another birthday like we are for our producer here tonight. Ficklin in the pocket. They'll swing right on the edge, but flags fly.
I think the Roughers are in motion before.
Yeah, there was motion up front. Celebrate my birthday here in a few weeks, but tonight, congratulations. Another happy birthday on a Friday night to our very capable producer, Bree Gialetti, senior at Muskogee High School, directing all the video production of Rougher TV again this fall. Penalty will stop the clock, move it back to the 49-yard line. The Roughers will have a 2nd down and 10. Roughers going to need to hurry to the line of scrimmage as the play clock down to now 7 seconds and counting. Ficklin sees it, takes the snap, sets up to throw back underneath. Catch made by Johnson, 45-40 to the edge at the 35, and then out of bounds ahead of the chains at the 32-yard line.
Roughers doing a nice job there to set up the screen, let the lineman through, and then let Johnson get open out in the flat.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line with 28 seconds to go before intermission. Roughers will put a trio of receivers with McGee in the middle, Beasley on the outside edge, and E.J. James as well. Ficklin takes the pocket, rolls to his left, wants to sling the ball downfield, wide open for the catch. Big play, McGee. Caden McGee on the catch from Bird. Another touchdown toss for the Roughers with 21 seconds left to go before halftime.
And he was wide open in there as he did a nice double move to get open down there. And
back up field, Nick.
No.
They're going to take it away, perhaps on a holding call.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Mr. Bill used to say, oh, no.
Yeah,
Does that date me or not?
Well, that's kind of expressing my feelings. But the holding penalty will take away the touchdown toss from
bummer.
Jamarian Ficklin to Caden McGee. So the big play will be erased by a even bigger penalty, moving it back from the 40 to the midfield stripe with 21 seconds left to go.
4th penalty for 45 yards, and the Roughers are going to call a timeout.
And we'll do the same. We'll take the break with the two teams tonight here at Rougher Village. Muskogee 21, Enid 14, back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2023.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Welcome back to Rougher Village. 21 seconds to go before halftime. Roughers with 21 looking to add some insurance to their scoreboard.
Big penalty there, though, as the hold was behind the line of scrimmage, so it ends up being about an 18-yard loss for the Roughers all the way back to midfield.
When you speak of insurance, though, the man to call is State Farm Insurance Agent David Cobb at 918-682-2511. For any of your insurance needs, home, health, life, business, what it may be, call David Cobb at 682-2511. State Farm Insurance Agent David Cobb, a friend of the Roughers. 1st and a country mile. Ficklin straight back in the pocket. Time to dance around, looking to get to the outside edge. He'll be shoestring tackled, fumble the ball. They're going to say the knee was on the turf. That's a break for the Roughers, but a nice effort that time by the man up front.
Withy, the middle linebacker, was the guy that got him and knocked the ball loose.
Clock still running with 7 seconds left to play. I don't know if the Ruffers will spend a timeout and try to go one more, or just take it to the halftime dressing room. Travis says, come on, let's go talk about it in the locker room. 2 quarters in the books tonight here at Ruffer Village. Ruffers looking strong at times and hurting themselves at others, but still holding to a 7-point, 21-14 advantage over the Plainsmen of Enid as we've reached intermission at Ruffer Village. Back in 3 minutes, this is Ruffer Football 2023.
Jay Hodge here with Rick, a man of few words. Wow! That's one of them. And when you see the savings at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, tell them, Rick. Wow! New Silverados, 1.9% financing or $5,600 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
New Silverados, 1.9% financing.
Wow!
Now at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee,
144 West Shawnee.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to thrive for decades on end, and that's a people-first mentality. Bravado employees live within our existing coverage area just like you. Our kids go to the same schools and play in the same leagues as yours. That's why so much of who we are consists of giving back to our communities, because your community is also our community. We are your family, your neighbors, and your leader in wireless mobility. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Back at Ruffer Village here on this 0-week football encounter as the Muskogee Ruffers at home for the first time this year against the Plainsmen of Enid. And Nick, if there was one thing I was more satisfied than anything about here on this last Friday of August, was the fact we didn't have to make that 3+ hour drive home after the game as we did last year at Enid. But here in the first half, the Ruffers have looked good at times and not so good at times, have hurt themselves with some penalties. And then, of course, Enid showing its ability to move the ball against the Ruffer defense. A 21-14 first half scoreboard in favor of the good guys.
Take a look at some scores around the state on this 0-week kickoff night. Gore leading Wilburton in the second quarter tonight, 14-0. Carl Albert ahead of Coweta, 17-7. That game is at halftime. And let's see, Star Spencer leading Okmulgee 6-0. Putnam City North on top of Capitol Hill, which is an opponent in our conference, 28-0. Claremore Sequoia over Inola, 26-0. Where else have we got around our area? Oologah leading Fort Gibson 14-7 in the second quarter.
Sand Springs and Sapulpa, the Sandites, which will be the opening district foe for the Ruffers here at Ruffer Village here in 3 weeks. Sand Springs and Sapulpa tied at 14. Choctaw trailing Del City 20-9.
Lincoln Christian, surprisingly at halftime, just up on Holland Hall 6-0. Two top-ranked teams, though, in Class 3A.
And you've got Guthrie leading Ponca City by a 20-0 count, and Edmond North in front of Deer Creek 7-0. That's a scoreboard update of the first 2 quarters of action. You know, it takes a village to support the school system. And, Nick, you can't say enough about the foresight of the patrons of the Muskogee School District who went to the ballot box some 3.5 years ago and put a big green X on the ballot in support of that almost unbelievable bond issue that was proposed by the school district and Dr. Jared Mendenhall's leadership to make sure that that came true to fruition. And you don't have to look very far anywhere around town, not just this beautiful facility at Ruffer Village, but each of the schools, including the high school just over here to the east of the stadium with some impressive renovations being made there. The total renovations at Tony Getz, at Alice Robertson, as well as over this past year at Sadler Academy. All of the schools participating, benefiting from that, but most importantly, not just the building facilities, but the educational opportunities being presented to today's children. And having 3 grandchildren of my own that are in the Muskogee Public Schools, I am proud to say that I voted yes.
And so much has gotten done, particularly these last couple of years, as you were saying, with this great facility here at Ruffer Village with the football field and the arena and all the schools you mentioned, still more going on. They'll be converting, doing work over on the old Grant Foreman School this semester to turn it into a new center for the Early Childhood Center at semester break. They're doing some repairs and renovations at Irving this year, or they did during the summer. They'll continue doing some of those. So work continuing within the district to kind of upgrade facilities.
21-14 is our halftime score, but there's still plenty of entertainment going on down on the field as the Ruffer Regiment presents its halftime performance. Let's pick up some of the sights and the sounds of the Muskogee High School Band. Those in attendance here tonight appreciating the musical talents of the Pride of Muskogee. 21-14. Muskogee Ruffers in front of the Enid Plainsmen. When we come back, we'll take a look at statistics and a whole lot more. We continue with Ruffer football after this 2-minute timeout on Ruffer TV.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Welcome back on Ruffer TV for 2023. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you. Ruffer football brought to you in part by Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, Nissan of Muskogee, by My Place Barbecue West. A couple members of our broadcast team employed there and do a great job of making sure you're happy and pleased with your dining experience at My Place Barbecue West. By Excel Physical Therapy, Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law, Pioneer Abstract, Bravado Wireless, J. Hodge Chevrolet, and Cornerstone Funeral Home. Nick, statistics. How do they fare in favor of the scoreboard of the Ruffers' 7-point lead, 21-14?
You mean they kept those two around for, they started last year or sometime, didn't they?
They've been there for a couple of years and doing an excellent job.
Well, all right.
Just like they do here, producing our broadcast each and every week, including the birthday girl.
Yeah, all right. Well, make it a year or two. All right. Stats-wise for the Ruffers, 7 first downs in that first half, 15 rushes for 153 yards for Muskogee. Passing by Jamarian Ficklin tonight, 4 of 7 for 105 yards. So the Ruffers, 258 yards in total offense here in the first half. 4 penalties, a couple of those pretty costly against the Ruffers. One negated a touchdown, and that's 4 penalties for 45 yards. Beasley, by far the leading ground gainer for the Ruffers tonight, has only 3 carries, but he has 87 yards after that long touchdown run that he had. And right before that, he had a 25-yard run. And Latavian Johnson, 8 carries for 63 yards. So the Ruffers doing a good job of really kind of a balanced offense tonight. As you look at it, 153 on the ground, 105 through the air. For the Enid Plainsmen, they have 9 first downs in the first half of the game, 22 carries on the ground for 88 yards, 9 of 13 passing for Adrian Robinson for 80 yards, so they have 168 yards in offense, 3 penalties for 35 yards, and Fusca has been their main ball carrier tonight, 15 carries for 62 yards on the night for the Plainsmen.
Both teams exchanged possessions on the first opportunities, but Enid, with an errant pass and a diving effort from Deion Bowler, put the Ruffers in offensive possession, still with just over 6 minutes left, but Muskogee went a quick 3 and out. Then it was the Plainsmen, after a first down, punting the ball away, kicking the ball down to the Ruffers 7-yard line where Mr. Beasley and company went to work, 25 yards on a run by Bees, and then moments later got free on a 58-yard scamper. Soto's kick made it 7-0 with 1:17 to play in the opening quarter. The Plainsmen would respond. They marched 70 yards in 10 plays. Aiden Robinson finding his tight end Bennett Percival for the touchdown toss, making it 7-7. But the Ruffers with quick play, quick strike opportunity, hook up on a 64-yard touchdown pass from Ficklin to Beasley. 2 plays, 70 yards, making it 14-7. After a couple of possessions back and forth, the Ruffers start from their own 42, take just a few plays before Latavian Johnson would rumble it in from 17 yards out to make it 21-7. Enid would come back with a nice 49-yard drive in 9 plays to bring it to a 21-14 ball game. Ruffers actually, Nick, did score before halftime on a nice toss from Ficklin to Caden McGee, but the big play was erased because of a yellow penalty. How many flags on the Ruffers in the first half?
4.
4 in the first half.
4 for 45. Yeah.
Including 1 6-pointer. So all in all, kind of a
mixed bag. Yeah.
Mixed bag of thoughts here about the opening 2 quarters of play. Bill Huddleston and Nick Hampton here with you on this Friday night. Jumping around some other scores. Oologah leading Fort Gibson in the second, 21-7. It is McAllister leading Broken Bow 7-6. Ada and Durant playing tonight in Durant. Hard to believe that it was 40 years ago, Nick, that Durant won the state championship. Okay. They're hoping to make history repeat itself again here in 2023. At least that's what Eric Studeville tells me. Of course, he was part of that Lion team that won that gold ball. Bridge Creek leading Lexington 35-0. Poto in front of Bishop Kelly. That game was considered to be a toss-up of sorts. But right now it's Wetsu in LeFlore County as the Pirates have a 17-7 lead over the visiting Comets.
Been updated 17-14 now. They still lead. Yeah.
All right. Newcastle leading Weatherford by the count of 17-7. Jones out in front of Bethany 20-0. Ruffers at home tonight here against the Plainsmen of Enid. Next Friday night we'll travel to Putnam City and then come back 2 weeks hence to entertain the Titans of Carl Albert. What hopefully will be a showdown of the Class 6A2 and 5A number 1 ranked teams.
One other score, probably one of the top games on this side of the state, or at least hype-wise, Vienna and Washington. Washington, the defending 2A champ, leading 21-0 over the Wolverines. Vienna trying to kind of find itself offensively so far this year, and so the Washington Warriors pretty well packed. It looked like they may be on their way to another title in that class.
Well, they've certainly got a lot of good players. Of course, Nick, one of the things that you and I get a chance to enjoy every day is our opportunity to participate with a new and innovative sports information site. We call it VitePlusOK.com.
It's got lots of interesting information. We spent a lot of time kind of researching this last month, and among the things you can find in the Muskogee area section of Vite Plus is our evaluation of the top 5 in just about every category, offensively and defensively, as we take a look around the Muskogee, Eastern Oklahoma area and kind of sized it up. Talk about the heat a little bit. Take a look at the games this week. We kind of analyzed some of the top games that we saw coming up, and that's been posted in the Vite Plus area. So lots of information that you can obtain on Vite Plus.
You can do that. You can also read the premium content that includes rankings of the state's top 150 players, along with the top players at each position all across the state of Oklahoma. Check out and see what Bryce McInnes and how he has evaluated the top 5 receivers, the top 5 quarterbacks, linebackers, and any other position, to see if you agree with him. I, for one, don't quite agree with Mr. McInnes in his rating of the wide receivers. He's got Caden McGee down, I think, at number 4 or number 5. I've got to think that he's at least deserving of a number 2 spot, and the quarterbacks, Bird's in that same kind of slot at number 4, although he's just a junior. But I don't know that I would want to go to battle with anybody other than Jamarian Ficklin, the quarterback. So you check it out for yourself. It is a premium content site. You can obtain your own subscription Go online to VitePlusOK.com for more information. At halftime, it is Muskogee 21 and Enid 14 will return for the start of the second half after this 3-minute timeout. This is Rougher Football 2023.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com. Proud to be a Muskogee Rougher, Honda of Muskogee.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
Our super friendly staff is here to give you the best value with honest and fair service. Call 918-68-HONDA or go to hondamuskogee.com.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Jay Hodge here with Rick, a man of few words. Wow, that's one of them. And when you see the savings at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, tell them, Rick, wow. New Silverados, 1.9% financing or $5,600 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
New Silverados, 1.9% financing.
Wow.
Now at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee,
144 West Shawnee.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to thrive for decades on end, and that's a people-first mentality. Bravado employees live within our existing coverage area just like you. Our kids go to the same schools and play in the same leagues as yours. That's why so much of who we are consists of giving back to our communities, because your community is also our community. We are your family, your neighbors, and your leader in wireless mobility. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to
With you here at the beautiful new facility for the Muskogee Roughers. As it's halftime, 21-14, the Muskogee Roughers lead. The teams have come out to kind of get their legs back underneath them and loose. And they're now going to the sidelines once more, and we're real close now to getting ready to start quarter number 3 of football action here as the Roughers trying to score their first victory of the season and get things off to hopefully another fine start on the year for Muskogee.
Would have liked to have been a fly on the wall, Nick, at halftime in both the defensive and offensive player areas, just to hear what the coaches had to say. I felt like at times this was an offense that was pushing off the line of scrimmage, but still, just like we saw last Friday night at Bixby, for offensive line, maybe it's because many of them are going both ways, but sure seem to get winded.
They are, and of course it didn't help anything with the temperatures being the way they were today. But, I mean, that's true on both sides of the ball, and, you know, I think that's something that even a couple of weeks ago when the Roughers had an inter-squad scrimmage, we saw a little bit of that, just some inconsistencies in the offense, and with everybody they've got back, you really wouldn't expect to see so much of that, I wouldn't think.
Rougher Football this season brought to you in part by Honda of Muskogee, by Century 21 First Choice Realty, Innovative Renovations LLC, by Buffalo Wild Wings, along with Bravado Wireless and the power of connection.
Roughers will get the football to start this third quarter, and so see what they can do offensively to get some more points on the board.
Well, Ruffers had to come out and play defense right out of the beginning, Nick, and as it turned out, it favors them here to start the second half.
Really does, and so Muskogee will get ready to go and start this third quarter as Bowler will be back deep for Muskogee, and the left-footed kicker Kevin Vega for the Plainsmen to kick it away.
Kick is short and toward the boundary. Ruffers will field it and take the fair catch call.
That's about where they've started every time that Enid's kicked off.
It is indeed, and it shows you just the respect that the Enid coaches have for the speed of the return game of the Ruffers. Not wanting to give Mr. Bowler a chance to get headed south to north in a hurry with a full head of speed.
So the Ruffers will start 1st and 10 at their own 30 to get quarter number 3 underway.
Starting from the 30-yard line, Ruffers will put a single receiver wide either side. Beasley is out on top of the numbers to the wide side left. Handoff comes to Latavian Johnson trying to dance free of blockers and wiggle his way back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about all. Good play that time by the middle of the defensive unit for Enid, stopping that one for no gain.
So Johnson, who had 63 yards rushing in the first half, gets nothing on this carry, gives him 9 carries now in the game. Quickly out, they get it to Beasley. He's down the sideline,
50,
still going.
45.
Wow.
Boy, you can't
rest with those guys,
no,
can
you
we?
certainly can't. You can't even look down to see right there where you write down the last play.
But we have a penalty flag down. On
No
the
surprise there.
So.
Or as my granddaughter would say, big shocker, Papa. Flag was thrown, and the referee will come over and indicate holding against the Ruffers.
Ooh.
So another big play that had gone well beyond the 50-yard line of 20-plus yards will be wiped out because of that holding penalty. Now marked off from the spot of the foul, it's from the 42.
They gained 3 yards.
They gained 3 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. Just started quarter number 3 here at Rufford Village, 21-14. Scoreboard update brought to you by Nissan and Muskogee. 3 wide receivers come to the left for Ficklin. Johnson off that same shoulder. Bird back in the pocket. Waits, throws a dart across the middle, caught by McGee. 45, out to the midfield stripe, still on his feet, the 45, dances free. The UNLV commit going to give the Ruffers a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer first down on the yards after catch. From the
24, is that right?
That's right.
24 yards on the play.
33 across midfield to the 43 on the other end. Your math is as good as mine.
All right.
Or better, actually. 1st and 10, Ruffers. As the clock shows 11 minutes left to play here in the third quarter of action. Beasley and McGee come to the near side. Play action again, swing it underneath, this time a little bit too fast on the release by the fireballing left-hander. I wonder if Ficklin ever played baseball.
Well,
He's just got that little sidearm sling that looks like he could bring some gas if he were up on the dirt, but that pass was a little bit wide, stops the clock on the incomplete forward pass with 10:46 to play here in the third. 2nd down and 10. Coda Barnowski and Andre Beasley will be to the far right. McGee along with E.J. James coming to the left side. They'll hand it off to Beasley coming back this side. Got a nice block inside 30, 25, 20. Turn on the Jets. 20, 15 at the 10 and keeps his balance before he shoved out of bounds downfield around the 5-yard line, says the side judge.
Big Wesley Harvey out there on that left side leading the way through that key block for Beasley and set up the big run.
38-yard run from scrimmage for Andre Beasley. He's going to have some big numbers at the end of this night, Nick.
Gives him 128 yards on just 5 carries.
We got to start thinking about our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game. And certainly Mr. Beasley is stuffing the ballot box full with his own statistics. James and Watson will be the pair to the right side. Beasley alone out to the left. Ficklin going to hand it off to Latavian Johnson. He'll follow the downfield surge of his offensive line and blow the horn. The Ruffers have gone the distance, 70 yards. This one on a 5-yard run by Latavian Johnson, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Muskogee has expanded its lead to 27-14 with the PAT to follow.
70 yards in 5 plays. one big pass play and the rest on the ground for the Roughers as they came out in this third quarter. I think the fly on the wall really got after them in the locker rooms at halftime. They've come out a little more energized.
Espinosa to try that's Soto Morales to try the PAT. Richard Morales on the extra point. It's good, and it's 28-14 Ruffers. Third and 1 for Enid. Buska again going to take the handoff. He'll pop outside. He gets wrapped up and stopped short of the line to gain. Good effort that time by the Ruffers. Tim Moore, the linebacker, scraping free of the block, stopping the ball carrier short of the 20-yard line. Be less than a yard to go. Really don't think there'll be much of a gamble here.
Nope, I wouldn't think so. Just a matter of whether Fuska's going to carry it or Robinson will take it himself, I would think.
Apologize for some audio problems there momentarily, but I think we've got things back and going. Fourth and less than a yard for the Plainsman. Robinson with extra blockers in front and just going to call his own number. He'll have a crease and have the first down yardage inside the 20 down to the 17. 7:43 left to play here in the third. Ruffers with 7 more on the board here early on.
This isn't what Steve Craver wanted to see from his defense after they get the big score early in the third quarter, only to have Enid come back down.
Robinson this time again will sling it out in space. Catch made this time by Bennett Percival, the 6'4", 180-pound senior. He'll take the ball inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line for a pickup of 4. What a drive that started back deep at the 12-yard line, but the Plainsmen have flipped into the field. Of course, that one big play. 2nd and 6. 2 receivers to the boundary, short side left. Fuska's going to throw it out in space. That one kind of hopped, looked like, but they're going to say it's a catch.
And the official was right there, so I guess it was good. Gets down to about the 10.
Now, wait a minute. Now the other officials are saying it did take a short hop. They'll rule it incomplete.
That's the right call, I think. So that makes it 3rd down now.
Not to criticize the officiating crew, but there was a receiver kind of impeding his clear view to the ball. But the linesman or the umpire in the middle of the field and the referee in the backfield had a better angle on it. So it'll be 3rd down after the incomplete pass from the 12. Have to go to the 7. Robinson in the pocket, across the middle, throwing to the end zone. It's deflected away and incomplete.
Ruppers had the best shot at that. I think it's Swanson back there had a shot at it but couldn't haul it in.
So now we'll see the decision call for head coach Cameron Condor. Might look to go back to that tight end like they did back earlier in the night, Nick. Percival is in there. 4th down and a long 5. A diamond set of receivers to the right side. Robinson takes it, and timeout taken by Enid just prior to the snap of the football. We'll do the same. 6:47 left in quarter number 3. Muskogee leading Enid 28-14. Back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2023.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you on this Friday night, week number 1, trying to work out all the bugs of tonight's encounter. Right now the Ruffers trying to find some insurance. They need to protect the goal line and protect the first down line. 4th down and 6. When you need insurance, remember David Cobb at 682-2511. Robinson, this time, going to hand it off. Going to be the halfback pass to the end zone. It's up for grabs. It's deflected away and incomplete. Well, it went to the bag of tricks. And let
Israel Gonzalez, I think, was it?
I think it was Bennett Percival, wasn't it? That threw it?
Oh, but threw it, yeah. I think it was
Gonzalez
was the receiver. He had it in his hands, but just couldn't hang on to it.
So the incomplete pass will be a turnover on downs, and the Muskogee Ruffers will get the ball back, still leading by a pair of scores, 28-14. The Ruffers started deep a moment ago. See, Nick, if they can repeat that performance of the first half when they were deep in their own end of the field, this time from the 13. Ficklin in the pocket. Good protection. Underneath pass. Caught by Beasley, and then he gets collared right underneath, right around the throat area.
You talk a little sidearm delivery that time by Ficklin. He was almost down on his knees, throwing level with his knees when he let that one go.
1 yard gain on the play. Actually, they're going to mark it for no gain right at the 13. So the pass complete. The percentage counts, but the yardage doesn't increase. Now the Ruffers will have Beasley along with Beasley. Jamie and Andre both wide to the left. Handed off on the counter, back the opposite way. This is Latavian Johnson. 15, 20, and a penalty flag from behind. That's going to be another hold. I can promise you on that one.
Sure will.
Saw it myself. Pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
That'll stop the clock with 5:58 to play here in quarter number 3.
Flag down right at the line of scrimmage, and it is a hold against the Ruffers.
Holding against the Ruffers.
So they'll replay 2nd down. Excel Physical Therapy, from setback to comeback. When you're injured on the sideline, can't don't feel your best, check with one of the physical training experts at Excel Physical Therapy and let them get you back in the game or back in the office doing the work.
Half the distance, moves it back to the 7.
They'll wind the clock and move it. Trying to get the clock to run. Ruffers scored on their one and only possession here of the second half. Sprint to the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 17. Ficklin takes the snap, waits, dances up out of the pocket, calls his own number. 15, 20, 25. Ficklin out across the 25, 30, 35, needing a ball of blockers. He's got some. Bird on the sideline, 30, 35, and just shoved out of bounds way downfield at the 16-yard line. Okay, Nick, my math skills didn't go good because I went up instead of down after he crossed the 50-yard line. But nevertheless, Jamarian Ficklin will flip into the field on the possession as the carry goes all the way to the 16-yard line.
74 yards, I think, is what I count there. 43 and 34.
Yeah, that's 77.
Yep.
77 yards for the Bird flying down the boundary. And Ficklin puts the Ruffers inside the 20-yard line of the Plainsman. Clock showing 5:05 on the scoreboard. Here in quarter number 3, Ruffers trying to add, make it a 3-touchdown advantage here with a score.
Delay a game called against the Ruffers.
Penalties certainly have been at inopportune times for Muskogee all night long. One, of course, a big one earlier that took a touchdown off the scoreboard.
6th call against the Ruffers for 60 yards on the night.
Heat and humidity, Nick, still got to be pretty toasty down on that artificial surface.
It is, yeah. And especially since there's virtually no wind now. There was a little breeze early in the game.
It's more comfortable, though, for those in attendance, especially those sitting over on the west side or east side. Johnson going to take the handoff. Wait for a crease. 20-15. Has a blocker in front at the 10. Dives for the pylon. I don't think he got there. They're going to say stepped at about the 6-yard line. So the game will go from the 21 to the 6. It's exactly where he needed to go for the first down. So this could be either second and
With the ball on the 6-yard line.
2?
Well, not 2. It's less than a yard.
Actually, less than a yard. Yeah, 2nd and 2 inches maybe.
Yeah.
4:48 to play here in quarter number 3. Ficklin going to give it to Johnson through a crease. Has a wall of blockers. Got a nice little seal from the offensive front line. Tion Brewer. And Latavian Johnson will put his 3rd touchdown scamper on the scoreboard tonight on the 6-yard touchdown run.
87 yards on the drive for the Ruffers.
Marching the distance after a 4-down stand on the opposite end by the defense. As Enid has a player down on the field. And a break in the action. 34-14, let's go ahead and take the timeout here. We'll pause 60 seconds, come back with more action from Ruffer Village. Muskogee 34 and Enid 14 after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2023.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
77-yard scamper by Jamarian Ficklin, giving the Ruffers an opportunity to get into the red zone or into the scoring alley, where moments later it would be Latavian Johnson that would take it in from 6 yards out. injured player for the Plainsmen able to get up and walk off the field under his own abilities before he tried the point after touchdown. But, Nick, you've got some scoreboard updates courtesy of Nissan of Muskogee.
Oolaga leading Fort Gibson 28-7 in that contest. The Highway 97 battle, Sapulpa trying, well, there's the extra point. I won't go any further.
Ball down on the little chip shot kick that is up and through the uprights, and it is a 35-14, 3-touchdown advantage. Go ahead with those scores tonight from across the state of Oklahoma on 0-week play.
Sapulpa trying to win their first game in the Highway 97 series in a few years, leading Sand Springs 34-28. Still in the second quarter, they say. McAllister and Broken Bow all tied up at 13 apiece. Poto leading Bishop Kelly 24-14. Pryor all over Locust Grove this evening 32-0. And let's see, Gore leading Wilburton 22-0. Carl Albert, the rougher opponent in a couple of weeks, leading Coweta tonight in the third quarter 24-7. And Lincoln Christian 26-0 in their game against Holland Hall. Those are some of the scores from around the area.
Former Gore head coach Brandon Tyler in his home opener as the head coach of the Black Diamonds at Sallisaw, entertaining Cade Sherwood Stigler Panthers. And the red and white taking advantage of the black and orange tonight, 19-6.
Brandon Tyler trying to take over and turn that program around that's kind of been on its heels the last few years.
That's what he's done everywhere he's been.
Has, yep.
So now the Ruffers with a 3-score advantage, 35-14, will kick off. As Espinosa will be aboard. Little one-step kick over on the side, fielded by the Plainsman. Trying to come back to the middle of the field, looking for a block. Rollins out to about the 20, maybe the 22, 23, wherever he falls forward to. And that's where Enid will have the football. 4:32 to play here in quarter number 3. A quarter that it seemed to just drag on, Nick.
It's been a long quarter.
Since halftime.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game. We've got several candidates to begin to think about. Certainly we have to think about Andre Beasley. Latavian Johnson's got 3 scores. If you go over on the defensive side, Nick, some of the names we've called more than once: Tim Moore, Travion Houston, and Dion Bowler, who had another pass interception early on in the game. 4:32 to play here in the third quarter as the Plainsmen will take over. But there was a penalty flag on that last play. So now they're going to mark the ball off and move it back to the 11-yard line. Now, why? I really don't understand this. Why are we starting? Nevertheless, on the kick return, it was at the end of the play. So they'll move it back to the 11, and that's where the Plainsmen will begin. Fusca taking the handoff on the off-tackle surge. He'll come across the 15 and out to about the 17 on the carry. From the 12 to the 17, making a 5-yard pickup.
Fusca's been a busy boy tonight, 21 carries in the game so far.
He's going to be busy all season long because he is kind of the workhorse in that backfield along with Aiden Robinson. Josh Withings has been aboard a couple of times, but here comes Fusca again behind his blockers. Out near the 20-yard line before taking to the turf. The falling forward will put the ball at the 21. So a 4-yard pickup will leave the Plainsmen on a 3rd and short situation. But, Nick, you're down 3 scores here. More than halfway through quarter number 3. You got to kind of get some giddy up in your offense.
They did. They had some giddy up in that second quarter, but so far here in the third quarter, they're either kind of flat or the rougher defense is playing a lot better.
Robinson with motion, and there's movement up in the offensive front as one of the offensive linemen, Dylan Nelson, coming up out of a stance. That's a 5-yard costly flag against the visiting Plainsmen. Last year, of course, the Ruffers went to Enid and won it 28-26. Before that, the previous meeting had been back in 1991 when Muskogee won it 35-6, and current coach, then player, Don Mays returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and his brother Ron had a pick-6 touchdown. They still live in those highlight moments. Robinson going to throw it upfield, looking for his target. A little bit too tall pass attempt intended for Tyson Kennedy. So that'll make it a 4th down situation. Yeah, you talk to either one of those guys, and they'll tell you that their play was just as big, if not bigger, than their brothers. But certainly 2 guys that have turned in a lot of extra hours in their adult lives in support of the youth of Muskogee through the No Speed Limit track group as well as youth football.
Yep.
And here on Friday nights as well as through the week for the Roughers.
Plainsman getting an extra player in there a little late.
Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 3:23 to play here in quarter number 3. Hayden Robinson back in punt formation. The kick is away. The driving kick. The bowler will step up, field it at his 45. 40, 35, 30 to the sideline. Walk the tightrope. Stop at the 15, but they'll say his foot touched the painted sideline at the 22-yard line in Enid territory.
So the Roughers get great field position on the return by Bowler and have a short field starting almost in the red zone.
At the Plainsman 22, 3:12 to go before the end of the third. Zapata Lawn and Tree Service, ServPro of Muskogee. Innovative Renovations. Those guys do the hard work. They get the jobs done, building on the outside of your home, turning your dreams into reality. Check it out online on Facebook at Innovative Renovations LLC. Ruffers on the first down handoff, giving it quickly to Latavian Johnson. He'll burst forward inside the 20 down to about the what appears to be the 19 where they'll mark it. 3-yard pickup. I was looking at some of the pictures online of the work of the crew from Innovative Renovations, Nick, and they really turned just an idea into almost just pure success. Making an idea you may have for an outside look to your home, call them at Innovative Renovations. On the pass play, out to the edge, making the catch and trying to find extra room. Down to about the 1-yard line goes the rougher receiver.
Jamie Beasley.
So if you can't get enough of Andre, wait, Jamie's coming the other way.
Yep.
Just a 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore.
All the way down to the 1, 18 yards on that play.
And a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, first down at 10. So 1st and goal to go for the Roughers. Up by 3 scores, trying to make it a 4-touchdown advantage. Might look for Izzy to get the handoff. He'll get the call, and Israel Martin will take the exchange from the Birdman. And through a crease in the offensive line, the senior 5'9", 165-pounder gets his first score of the night. And the Roughers have added another 6 points to the scoreboard on the north end zone.
As we talked about this game during the week, you and I predicted scores, and this is becoming a little more like what we thought it would be. It just comes a little slower than I thought it would be.
Well, expected Enid to have a little bit of energy, and I kind of think that wind has been taken out of their sails. Here's another chip shot PAT that's on the way and good. And with time out on the field, sound the horn again, signifying a Rougher touchdown. 2:08 to play in the third, 42-14. Roughers in front. We're back after this 30-second timeout on Rougher Football 2023. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Welcome back on Rougher TV. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Rougher TV broadcast crew bring you the sights and sounds of Rougher football again this season. You know, Nick, I realize that a TV production produced by the students, some people can be critical. But I'm pretty dadgum proud of our group of students that do their job, show up here each and every week. They set up the equipment, they take it down when the game is done, and they punch all the right buttons to make me and you sound and look pretty good. And that's a hard job to make us look good, that's for sure.
And Shane Stewart, with his whip out, makes them all toe the line.
Shane Sanderson also kind of tugging on that chain as well. Here's the kick again, bounding on the sideline. This one will go out of bounds, so it'll come out to the 30. And with 2:08 to go in the ball game, you kind of get the feeling this one might be kind of so far in the books, but still a lot of growing opportunities for a very young Enid football team, as well as for some of perhaps the underclassmen here the rest of the way.
And then also for the Roughers, who get a chance to maybe see some of their younger players play.
McAllister now leading Broken Bow 13-6. That game's moved on into the third quarter.
Plainsman will have the ball at the 35 to start this series.
Don't forget, we'll be on the road with the Roughers next Friday night at Putnam City against the Pirates. PCO will be the opponent. Robinson out of the gun, going to throw it upfield, kind of floats one high, trying to get it over toward Tyson Kennedy, but a little bit too much air under that pass. As over in coverage was Jaden Swanson. Stopping the clock on the incomplete forward pass. 2:03 to play here in quarter number 3. This last touchdown, Nick, certainly has turned it in, forcing the Plainsmen to have to kind of alter their game plan of perhaps trying to control the clock, because if they have any hopes of making this a competitive finish, they're going to have to go more to the air. Robinson again out of the gun, going to hand it off. This is Clayton Rowland. He's being stood up right at the line of scrimmage, and there is just no place to go. Some big fellas up front in the trench defensively for the Roughers.
That's going to bring us to 3rd and 10.
Arion Parrish, is 6'2", 312-pound defensive lineman, was in on that last stop, along with some help from Caleb Houston. No gain on the plays. 3rd down and 10. Clock showing 1:30 to play here in the third. Roughers have doubled their score here in this 12-minute stanza while keeping the Plainsmen off the board. Robinson going to throw off the far side. It's a little underneath, but as a receiver adjusts to it in open field. At that time, the downfield coverage got lost in traffic, and Zaire Allen makes the big play grab at the 35-yard line. So from the 35 on one end to the 35 on the other.
You can do that one.
30 yards.
All right. There you go.
But more importantly, I needed first down at the Muskogee 35-yard line.
172 yards passing now tonight for Robinson.
Buska to his left, play action, throw it back opposite side, and the receiver was wanting to turn upfield before he made his sure-handed reception. Incomplete as the ball falls to the turf, intended again for Allen, a 6'3", 175-pound junior that has got a lot of jets in his ability to speed up the field. 2nd and 10. Handoff this time going to Fuska. He'll follow a blocker down across the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Roughers able to get in at the feet of the returning back. That's Travion Houston in on the stop. We'll call it a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Clock moves inside, 1 minute to play here in quarter number 3.
Twin receivers will be outside the hash marks to the right. Single receiver Allen on the boundary left side on top of the numbers. Now motion across the formation. Handed off to Fuska, looking for a crease. He got collared right at the 31-yard line and knocked off his feet. Needed to go to the 25, only got a yard downfield to the 31. So it'll be 4th down and 6.
Well, Plainsmen have no choice here. They're in rougher territory anyway. They got to go for it here. 4th, 6, try and get back in this a little bit.
Two receivers wide to the right. Single receiver Allen is out to the left. Robinson in the pocket. Blitz comes off the edge. Pass high and batted around and dropped. That ball was just off the fingertips of the intended receiver, who's a little slow in getting up. That's Zaire Allen.
Defender was beaten pretty well on that play for the Roughers.
Martell Bolden.
The receiver was wide open, but
senior defensive back.
Bolden,
closest green jersey there.
He closed quickly and managed to get to the receiver just as the ball did.
So the Ruffers will take over at the 31-yard line as the third quarter has come to a close. And when we return, we'll be back with more action from Ruffer Village. Muskogee 42, Enid 14. Back in 60 seconds on Ruffer Football 23.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com. Proud to be a Muskogee Ruffer, Honda of Muskogee.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
Our super friendly staff is here to give you the best value with honest and fair service. Call 918-68-HONDA or go to hondamuskogee.com.
In the heart of Oklahoma, with Honda of Muskogee.
Out of the timeout, Israel Martin taking the handoff on the first down carry. Going from the 31 upfield to about the 34-yard line for a 3-yard pickup. Just started in the final 12 minutes. But the Ruffers with 3 scores in the third quarter, putting this one out of balance. Now on a quick out over on the near side, Beasley with the catch.
Plainsmen come up with the football and say, hey, it's ours. But
the referee
says, I don't think so.
So the pass will be complete and be good enough to take it to the 42-yard line. That's one more than they needed. And another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, first down and 10.
Gives the Bird 155 yards passing tonight.
And how many scores? Just 2.
Just 2 through the air, yeah.
1 taken away on a penalty. First and 10 from the 42-yard line. Trips go wide to the left. Handoff in traffic. This again is a up-and-coming running back for the Ruffers. Although a senior, Israel Martin. He'll go from the 42 upfield to the 44, net of 2 yards on the carry.
He got hurt his sophomore year and didn't get to play a whole lot last year while he was recovering, so this is kind of his year.
Jamie Beasley, Andre Beasley, and Javon Washington will be to the left side. Ficklin out of the pocket, sets up, waits, throws a rocket, underthrown. This one's picked off. Plainsman had too many white jerseys in the area, and on the return, going to bring it all the way back to the 35. There is laundry on the field, but more than likely it's going to be a hold on the Ruffers. We'll wait and see. Jamison Washington on the INT for Enid. I think there's not much doubt here with that penalty, more than likely against the Ruffers, that head coach Cameron Condon will say, yeah, we'll just take the takeaway and play it our ball. Referee will turn to the press box view. Holding against the Ruffers, decline. Pass interception stands, and the takeaway, and give Enid the football at the Ruffer 35-yard line.
So this is the best position that the Plainsmen have had in a while.
After the takeaway,
they started just across midfield in one possession in the first half.
10:26 to go in the contest. Ruffers with this one in hand. Now must show some defensive want-to. Handoff goes to Fusca. He'll come straight between the guard and tackle on the left side, get in behind that big, and I say big, offensive lineman. Returning starter Brock Sullivan tips the scales at 310 pounds. He stands 6'8". Gained by 4, going to give it back to Fusca. He'll get hit the line of scrimmage, fumble the ball. It's loose on the turf, and I don't think there's anybody there but green jerseys to fall on it. Who comes out of that pile with the pigskin?
Moore, I think it is.
I think it
Tim
is.
Moore,
Tim Moore with a fumble recovery. Somebody stripped the ball out of Fusca's hands, and it went spiraling downfield to the 25, and that's where Tim Moore will fall on it with 10 minutes to go here in the fourth. Ruffers will start first down and 10.
So the Ruffers now see a lot of ground game here, I would think.
I'm already thinking about what's for dinner tomorrow night, Nick.
I think I know what you're thinking about.
Well, I know where I'm going. I think I'm going to take the missus and see if we can't have a Saturday evening by ourselves. But before we do, we'll either go through the drive-thru or we'll go inside and enjoy My Place barbecue ribs.
I knew it.
Handoff to going to Israel Martin on the first down carry. He'll get up to about the 25. You can make your place My Place Barbecue West, where each and every day of the week there's some special on the menu board. If you really aren't certain what you want to order, go inside and one of their friendly waitresses will be there to take your order and put it together all to your satisfaction. That's at My Place Barbecue West in Muskogee.
No gain by Martin. 2nd and 10 for the Roughers.
Clock showing 9.5 minutes left to go in this, what seems like forever, second half. Ficklin in the pocket, stands, waits, rifles. Ooh, pass was thrown into the hands of Beasley, but he got rocked just as the ball got there. One thing about it, you can say on Ficklin, it doesn't take him long to get rid of the football, Nick, and he can throw it at high spin level in a hurry.
And he throws so many different angles with that left hand. He'll be up high, and then one time he'll be side-arming. Just very versatile.
That's what makes him so effective as a quarterback. 3rd down and 10 after the incompletion. Ficklin this time will roll to his right, twisting the body, throwing upfield, has the receiver open. Catch made at the 41.
McGee.
Big play, McGee. Caden McGee with the catch at a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. No. First down and 10. Wait a minute.
There it is again, the yellow flag.
The eligible receiver downfield this time, and Coach Reisenhuber pleading with the side judge here. That penalty will be a 5-yard walk-off, and the Roughers will have to try another 3rd down conversion again. Wow.
After a nice game on the catch by McGee.
The linesman talking with the officials out there, too, about what was wrong with that. But you won't win too many discussions with the guys who have the stripes once the penalty flag has been tossed. They'll walk the penalty off of 5 yards. It'll erase the first down. The ball will be at the 20, and the Roughers will have an eligible man downfield. Also carries loss of down. Yeah, right? It does, doesn't it?
It does. 4th down.
So it's now 4th down and 15. At least that's what the down marker says.
Yep.
Scoreboard says 3rd down.
I don't think that is a loss of down.
And wait a minute. Now what are we going to do? Been as much confusion on the relay of information. Penalty, ineligible man downfield for the Roughers. That's going to be now declined.
So that'll make it 4th down.
4th down and 10.
Right.
So now what do you do?
You punt.
It'll be 4th and 10 for the Roughers.
Seems to be a little bit of misunderstanding of what's been whistled in here. If you decline the penalty, though, wouldn't the play stand? How does it at the 25-yard line?
Yeah,
because the pass play went to the 42.
Pass play went past the 30, yeah.
I really don't understand that one. Not at all.
Well, here comes the punt team.
Not mine to understand, is it, Nick?
I guess not.
42-14 Roughers. Ficklin will be in punt formation. And Clayton Rowland will be back deep to do the return chores for the Plainsmen. Ficklin takes it, 2 steps, line drive kick that takes a high bounce. Rowland will field it. Comes to the near boundary at the 50, and then he'll be shoved to the turf right at the midfield stripe. Roughers got down there quickly. Andre Beasley, the gunner off the outside edge, making the stop.
Callum Walton also on the coverage for the Roughers on special teams.
Have you started thinking about your Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game?
Of course, I think about it the entire game.
Well, I'm not certain, but I think we've called one gentleman's name significantly more than any others all night long, but we'll wait and see how it all plays out. Travis Hill was just a shake of the head after that.
I don't blame him.
Last
huh?
penalty description, but we'll leave it alone and put it at the 50-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Plainsman. So the second half just rolls on and on and on. 9:03 to go here in the fourth. Low snap, then I think that's going to be a procedure call because everybody kind of flinched, expecting the snap, and the center was taking a deep breath before he put it back to the quarterback, and everybody moved, and that's a 5-yard flag.
Fifth of the night against the Plainsmen for 45 yards.
Second 15, ball on the 45-yard line.
That's what's slowing this second half down.
Well, there have been a number of penalties all night long. Runts Barbecue, Pioneer Abstract, Excel Physical Therapy, along with Serpro Muskogee and Century 21 First Choice Realty, proud to be a part of Rougher football this season. You can see all those business sponsors flashing in on those little signs in the lower left corner of our video screen. Robinson back in the pocket, throws it high. This went off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Coda Barnowski, making sure that Bennett Percival wasn't going to bring it down. Incomplete pass will stop the clock with 8:56 to play here in quarter number 4. A lot more entertainment part of the Friday night experience at Rougher Village. Just go to the big Jumbotron and try to guess which of the Rougher helmets has the gold ball trophy underneath. Second and 15 from the 45. Handoff going to Fusca. Pushes off his blocker, rips off one tackler, and fights his way back upfield to about the 50-yard line. They're going to say the knee touched the artificial surface right at the 49. So a 4-yard pickup for Mr. Fusca, who's been the offensive workhorse tonight for the Plainsmen.
Big game on the east side of the state tonight. Second and third ranked teams. Del City leading Choctaw 26-19.
Well, Jackets have come back because they were significantly further behind a moment ago. Substitutions now in the lineup. Blaine Parks in at a receiver spot. Robinson will take it, roll to his left, throw it across the middle. This one high and incomplete. Allen was pleading for a pass interference or a hold against Barnowski, and
not sure he.
I was going to say, give me the truth serum. I'm going to have to not tell a lie, be George Washington and not tell a lie. There was holding on that play, but no flag, thankfully.
So fourth down for the Plainsmen, and they'll send in their punting team.
42-14. Last year it was 30. What?
28-26?
28-26, yeah, a 2-point difference in that one, but this one has been, well, it was a 7-point game at halftime, but 3 unanswered scores in the third period put this one out of reach. As Travis Hill, as head coach, will pick up his 13th victory. High snap back to Robinson. Now he's just going to keep it. Everybody chased upfield. Robinson grabs it, goes all by himself. He'll have the first down yardage and some. That's a result of a bad snap, and everybody just anticipates that you're going to kick it and go. You turn your head to go the other way, and guess what? Here comes the punter, and he picks up the first down at the 37-yard line in Rougher territory.
12-yard run by Robinson. And as you say, it keeps the drive going for the Plainsmen.
8:03 left to play here in tonight's contest. Ruffers with some personnel adjustments. Quick handoff. Fusca spinning off the first contact. Bowler gets up there late to kind of stop the forward surge. Ruffers were late with personnel adjustments in the defensive line. Good to see Arion Parrish back out on the field for Muskogee at one of those defensive interior positions.
Fusca finally breaks the 100-yard mark now with that run on 28 carries.
Watson and Pellet will be on the outside edge. Motion across the formation. Robinson going to fling it out in space. Caught by Allen. Sidesteps a tackler at the 25 inside the 20. Has more than enough for a first down. Coaches said, the way they told me about it, we don't know about names, but we know 1, 6, 5, and 11. If you don't stay with them, they can't hurt you, and they did just right there as Allen made the catch for the first down. Now Fusca going to take the handoff. He'll churn straight ahead inside the 15 down to near the 12. As the clock continues to roll at the 7:10 mark of quarter number 4. You see the score there on the scoreboard? along with the Serpro logo, one of our participating sponsors, 42-14. Ruffers in front, but Plainsman trying to get some comeback points here. As Aiden Robinson will put Fusca to his left shoulder. Hand it off on the little counter play inside. Fusca backing his way downfield, spinning free of the first contact. Moves the ball down to near the 8-yard line.
That's been his MO all night, 3, 4, 5 yards of whack. Just persistent.
3rd down and 4 for Enid. As Cameron Condor takes on the program after Rashawn Woods opted to depart Enid for another coaching opportunity. Condor was last year's offensive coordinator.
Play clock down to 6 as Robinson's trying to get everybody set. He really didn't get it off.
Takes the snap, uses the running back to his advantage and tries to get out on the corner. He's got the first down yardage on the quarterback zone. And he takes it to the outside edge all the way to the 2-yard line. He might be cramping up just a little bit too, Nick. He was kind of hobbling, that Robinson.
1st and 10 for the Plainsmen.
So 1st and goal for Enid at the 2.
Plainsman trying to get some feel-good points here. Robinson going to call his own number. He'll wiggle his way between would-be tacklers. He'll break the plane of the end zone and get the touchdown. Robinson gave him the opportunity of new life, Nick, on that 4th down high snap scramble. He finishes off the second chance opportunity on the 2-yard touchdown drive to make it 42-20 with the PAT from Vega to follow. Ruffers tonight here at home. Next Friday night go on the road. We hope that you'll be there with us. 7 o'clock kickoff as Muskogee takes on Putnam City. Snap is back. Vega hammers home the PAT, and there's timeout on the field. 5:29 left on this 0-week Game 1 experience. The Ruffers with the 42-21 advantage. We're back in a moment, back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2023.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you on this 0-week night of high school football, one of several games being played across the state. But Nick, last night a highly publicized Battle of the Burbs became pretty much a raging inferno from the very beginning as Bixby just stormed through the Owasso Rams in decisive fashion, showing there has been no loss in talent despite the graduation of 18 seniors in last year's championship. Here's the kick by Vega. Beasley will let it roll. That's a live ball. Go back and get it. He'll pick it up at the 5 and dance free of would-be tacklers and be captured inside the 10.
B's got a little complacent on that. He thought it was going to hit and go out of bounds, and it went the other way around him, and he had to scramble back and get it.
So now the Ruffers will be 91 yards away from their goal line with 5:24 to go here in the 4th. Honda of Muskogee joining forces with Zapata Lawn and Tree Service, David Cobb, State Farm Insurance, Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law with the winning strategy for all your legal needs, by Bravado Wireless and the Power of Connection, Pioneer Abstract and Title Company, and by J. Hodge Chevrolet. Ruffer Football in 2024. Here's Israel Martin through a quick crease, popping up across the 10 out to about the 15-yard line where they're going to say his knee went to the turf. 6-yard carry for the Ruffer senior. Get a little help from the official to put the jersey, the shoulder pad back inside the jersey after being tackled.
Clock ticks at 5 minutes and under now left in the game.
Ruffers here you might expect playing it a little bit closer to the vest. Andre Beasley to be to one side. McGee will be to the opposite. Ficklin still out of the shotgun. They'll counter and hand it off inside. This will be Martin again. Out of one tackle across the 20 and up to about the 25-yard line goes Izzy. More than enough for another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer. First down and 10.
So 5 carries, 20 yards for Israel Martin here coming in the latter stages of the game.
I think you and I have had an opportunity this summer again to be actively involved with the Ruffer Football Booster Club and giving opportunities to support the program. And the businesses and the people here in Muskogee very, very supportive of this football program, both in the programs, the banners, as well as the live stream broadcast. Now Martin taking the handoff, trying to find some place to go, and there's a host of white jerseys ready and waiting to take Izzy to the turf.
He'll lose a little bit on this one, a couple of yards.
Going to go back to the 24, she'll spot it. So it'll be second down and 11. But again, thanks to the many patrons that support it, to our game night sponsors who tonight are Runts Barbecue, along with Wheeler Metals and Wheeler Recycling Center of Muskogee. Wheeler family has been forever part of the Muskogee community. Mrs. Wheeler, former teacher who retired back just prior to the end of the century, 1999. Of course, her son, Tim, played on that 1986 state championship team. And then their youngest son, Chad, who's this weekend is celebrating his 20th anniversary.
Our producers are going crazy down here for some reason.
Well, I think they're trying to message or communicate with those over in the varsity club in the south end zone. But we've got a beautiful facility here to broadcast our games from, and certainly nice to have all the technical assistance of not only our student crew, but also Shane Sanderson, Shane Stewart, and everybody that's been a part of this video production here tonight. Also to our partners back in the radio station at KTFX Okie Country 1017. Don't forget, each and every Tuesday night, we're live from Runts Barbecue with the Tuesday Night Coaches Show. Myself along with head coach Travis Hill. And if the weather breaks, we'll have normal practice sessions, which will allow one of the assistants and players to come. So you can tune into that each and every Tuesday night from 6:30 to 7 on Ruffer TV or on 1017 KTFX.
So following a timeout, Ruffers get back up to the line of scrimmage. Second and 11.
Ficklin still in at the quarterback spot. He'll take the snap, play action. Going to just throw the deep ball, looking for McGee. KD, 35, 30, 25, 20. There's your big play of the night. Jamarian Ficklin to Caden Big Play McGee for the touchdown.
76 yards on the score.
That time McGee just ran right past the corner on the near side, and the safety was nowhere in sight coming over. And McGee showing his laser 4.4 speed, just racing past everybody, and there was no catching up with Caden McGee on that touchdown reception.
Fourth reception tonight for McGee for 130 yards.
Some pretty good stats on the part of the Ruffers. Now on to try the PAT for Muskogee will be Richard Soto Morales. He'll hammer it through the uprights. Good. And that'll make it a 49-21 encounter tonight here at Ruffer Village. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2023.
Jay Hodge here with Rick, a man of few words. Wow, that's one of them. And when you see the savings at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, tell them, Rick. Wow. New Silverados, 1.9% financing or $5,600 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
New Silverados, 1.9% financing.
Wow.
Now at Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee,
144 West Shawnee.
76-yard pass and run combination from Jamarian Ficklin to Caden Big Play McGee for the Ruffers' 7th touchdown of the night. You know, it's always nice to hear from our listeners and viewers on the live stream, and a guy who could sling the ball pretty good himself back in his playing days, former rougher player, and now the defensive coordinator with the Tahlequah Tigers, Keith Wilson, enjoying tonight's contest at home. Good to hear from K-Dub, and glad to have you following your Ruffers, as you said. Once you bleed green, you never change. 49-21 now, the Ruffer scoreboard advantage. As Espinosa will tee it off once again. He'll chip this one up into the night sky. It'll bounce at about the 30. Picked up by Rowland at the 25. He fumbles the football, loose on the field, a scrum for it. I think the Plainsmen were able to get it. Rowland just kept trying to get free of the tackler.
Arius Parrish was the guy who had him by the legs and eventually forced the ball loose.
Israel Martin was also there, Nick, for the Ruffers, in close proximity to what would have been an unfortunate set of circumstances for the Plainsmen. All just ripped free on that tackle effort. But an alert teammate able to fall on top of the football for Enid. So the ball will be placed back at the 18-yard line with exactly 3 minutes left to go tonight here at Ruffer Village. Lester, Nick, I had to kind of pause sometimes and remember our many nights at Indian Bowl. But, boy, this is a beautiful place to call home.
Robinson comes out limping a little bit off the sideline as he comes back out to quarterback.
So back in the pocket, throw the pass out on the edge. Ruffers miss on the first contact. And the yards after catch made across the way by Tyson Kennedy will get up to about the 29-yard line. It would be remiss, Nick, if I didn't say thank you to Coach Cameron Condon of Enid for his supplying us with some of our game information in preparation for the contest. Certainly makes our job a whole lot easier on Friday night. Of course, Travis Hill and his staff just open books to anything and everything we want to know. 2nd and a yard to go. Clock running with 2:20 left to play tonight here at Ruffer Village. Robinson again with the sling shot pass up the field. Pass was a little bit shy of the mark as Anthony White was in coverage against the intended target. I think that time was Clayton Rowland. One of the Plainsmen going off the sideline, holding to his shoulder, was Jamison Washington. So now Robinson will have Fusca to his right. He'll flip him over to the left now as two receivers go to the short side boundary. Robinson just going to call his own number. He's got the first down yardage as he only needed one. He picks up 3 out to the 30-yard line. He'll stop the clock while they move the chains with 2:06 left to play in this 2023 opener. Not a thing of total perfection, but more than enough here for the Ruffers to come away with what they came here for first, and that's to get the win. Secondly, might be the fact that you can get out of here, hopefully, with your fingers crossed the final 2 minutes injury-free. Robinson handing off to Fusca, slicing off one tackler, getting up to about the 33.5, maybe the 34. A net of 4 yards as we've got 90 seconds left to go in this home opener for the Ruffers and head coach Travis Hill, who came into play tonight, according to the Associated Press and several other ranking entities, as the number 1 ranked team in Class 6A2. Just points ahead of Stillwater and Choctaw, last year's runner-up and champions. Robinson with 2 receivers to his right. Hard count, sets up, throws the slant across the middle. This almost picked off.
E.J. James.
James saw it, and he knew it was coming, and he's got a hand on it to deflect the pass. But if he picks that one off, you were adding 6 more points to the Ruffers' score total here tonight. Exactly 60 seconds left as the clock stops on the incomplete forward pass. It'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Always like to hear from our followers on Ruffer TV or on Okie Country 101.7. Robinson takes the snap. Under some pressure. Going to throw a little underneath route. It's caught by Fusca. Coming off a block. He got hit and hit hard. as making the contact that time for the Ruffers as Fuska's going to pick up the first down marker. I think that tackle was made.
JoJo Alexander.
JoJo Alexander, 6'2", 250-pound freshman. But not before Robinson is able to pick up the first down marker. And then a penalty flag for a hit to the head. Flags have been a little bit, I don't want to use the word indecisive, but certainly unsatisfactorily received by the two sidelines.
Well, maybe that means that they've done a good job of making everybody irritated.
Well, 49-21, the Ruffers with the decisive advantage as we're inside the 40-second mark here in the fourth. Robinson going to sling it out. Bennett has the football, but then can't hold on to it as he turns to try to go upfield, so it'll stop the clock with 34 seconds left. That's trying to go forward before you hold on to it. The incomplete pass for Robinson will give him what on the night, Nick?
He's got 197 yards, 28 throws so far tonight.
Which was kind of the game plan the Ruffers expected from the Plainsmen. Robinson again back in the pocket. Blitz comes off the edge, missed. Now he'll run, throw upfield to an open receiver.
Oh,
wide open. That time was Bennett Percival between two Ruffer defenders who were late in getting there. And fortunately for the Ruffers, Percival dropped the football. And the Ruffer defender across the way is a little slow in getting up, and sprinting out to take a look at him is one of the members of the Ruffer coaching staff. Might be a cramp, just from the way the reaction.
Maybe James, I'm not sure over there.
26 seconds left to go. Stay with us in our post-game show. We'll give you a...
Yeah, it is E.J. James as he comes trotting off the field.
About the time the coaches get out there, Dr. Pete Fass gets halfway there. He says, I'm okay, just give me a minute. And he'll sprint off the field. 49-21 Ruffers. I don't know if they'll flash the lights at the end of the show here tonight or we'll just blow the horns.
Oh, good. Did you say it was broken?
Well, I said it's not working.
the lights or the horn?
No, the lights aren't gonna go on and off here tonight.
Oh, that's too bad.
Aiden Robinson again, going to drop back in pocket, throw the ball for Allen. He has it, drops the ball. They'll call it incomplete. That stops the clock with 20 seconds. It'll be 4th down and 10. And a game that seemingly will never end. Don't forget, Ruffer football will be on the road next Friday night, traveling over to Putnam City against the Pirates. Scheduled kick time, unless Mother Nature forces a change on the game clock, is set for 7 o'clock. Our pregame countdown to kickoff will begin at 6:30. On a 4th and 10, Robinson out of the pocket. Ruffers come with a blitz. Pass across the middle. It's up the field, thrown and caught by the Plainsman receiver right at the 15-yard line. 12 seconds left here in the contest.
Keon Young was the receiver there.
Freshman. Another speedster for the Plainsmen.
25 yards on the pass play.
Now with just seconds remaining, 5 to go in the game, Cameron Condor is going to call a timeout and make sure his offense knows exactly what they want to do and not try to add yet one more score here before night's end. Ruffer football this season brought to you in part by David Cobb State Farm Insurance. Fast, fair, and friendly State Farm Insurance agent can handle all your insurance needs. If you're wanting to avoid the heat and get somebody to come and make your yard look really, really neat, go online and contact Zapata Lawn and Tree Service. Mi amigo Antonio Zapata and his crew made my house look really good. When I drove in, I could walk straight into the air conditioning and think, gee, what a good boy is Antonio and his crew. Gio and the crew came over and turned the front yard into a very nice look.
Some scores area, Oologah 42, Fort Gibson 7. McAllister over Broken Bow, that's a final, 23-13. It's the Sapulpa still ahead of Sand Springs, 40-35.
5 seconds left. First and virtually game for the situation here. One running back to the left of Aiden Johnson, but you might expect this one to be a toss to the end zone.
Ruffers playing this up to the line pretty tight. I'm a little surprised. They don't have dropping back a little bit more.
Well, I think it's going to be, you got one safety over the top too, Nick, to kind of help watch out for things. But referee came over to talk with Travis Hill. He'll trot back out there and hold his hand up. And I don't really understand what the official is trying to say to the quarterback here, but 5 seconds left. 49-21, our score.
All right, now I think we're ready to go again, finally.
Clock will start on the snap of the football. Actually, they reset it to 12 seconds. Maybe that was the time. And then the Ruffers, the Plainsmen, will just chalk it. Or was there a penalty? Yep. Motion up front, so move it back 5. Well, you hope to, they say over time that you improve more from game 1 to game 2 than you do at any other time during the season. I hope that's not the case, but for the Ruffers, but let's hope that they can improve even more next week. Johnson, under duress, just going to throw it away, and the clock will stop with 0.8 seconds left. Man, that's a fast trigger on that 5-second count.
And Robinson, he was already limping a little bit, comes up a little bit more after being in the grasp of Travion Houston.
So that'll stop the clock, make it second down and game. Condor here may just let his quarterback snap it and throw it to the end zone and say, one of you guys go get it. One of you speedsters go get it. Trips go out wide to the right. Allen by himself to the left. Robinson will look that right way. He'll throw it over the top against the defender. It's high and incomplete, and that'll put a finish on tonight. Wait a minute. 0.3 seconds left?
Wow, really?
The clock stops with 0.3 seconds left to play.
How do you throw a pass 25 yards down the field in less than a second? That's pretty clever.
Well,
half a second.
That's what they call time management.
I guess so.
In business administration classes, right?
We run the clock.
So
blame it on the video guy. He runs the clock.
So third down now.
So third and game, 0.3 seconds left. Low snap at the feet of Robinson. He'll pick it up, throw it for the end zone. It's high, but it's caught, and it's a touchdown. Plainsman will score on the game's final play.
Touchdown, Plainsman.
With 0.3 seconds left to go, Plainsman get the extra play and get the touchdown on the game's final play, and that'll make it 49-27 with a PAT to follow.
I think the Ruffers kind of got lackadaisical a little bit there defensively.
Well, nevertheless, you play to the buzzer sound, so to speak. Extra point, down, kicks away. This one is blocked by the Ruffers. And so the special teams will cap it off tonight. And Muskogee, despite its moments of dissatisfaction and mistakes, have more than enough positives to walk out of here tonight with the final count of 49-27. Muskogee will improve to 1-0. The Plainsmen will drop to 0-1 on the season. Both teams will be back in action next Friday night. Stay tuned. Back in a moment with our post-game show. We'll select our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game in the post-game coverage of Ruffer football. Back in 3 minutes. You're watching and listening to Ruffer Football 2023.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to thrive for decades on end, and that's a people-first mentality. Bravado employees live within our existing coverage area just like you. Our kids go to the same schools and play in the same leagues as yours. That's why so much of who we are consists of giving back to our communities, because your community is also our community. We are your family, your neighbors, and your leader in wireless mobility. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
There's really only one explanation for businesses who continue to thrive for decades on end, and that's a people-first mentality. Bravado employees live within our existing coverage area just like you. Our kids go to the same schools and play in the same leagues as yours. That's why so much of who we are consists of giving back to our communities, because your community is also our community. We are your family, your neighbors, and your leader in wireless mobility. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts, Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Welcome back on Rougher Football. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton. Home opener for the Roughers. Somewhat of a topsy-turvy start, Nick. 7-7, then 21-7, 21-14 at half. But the Roughers doubled up with 3 touchdowns in that third quarter to kind of put this one on ice and coast in with a final score of 49-27. Your thoughts about this 0-week victory for the Roughers?
Well, the offense started off a little bit slow. The first couple of possessions didn't go anywhere. Then the next 3 they scored on. Then they kind of had a lull the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half and let Enid kind of get back in the game. But then, as you said, they went to town in the third quarter and scored on their first 3 possessions.
Right.
And kind of put this one out of reach for the most part in the third quarter. So the offense kind of got going, ended up with pretty good numbers as it was, but I felt maybe just a little inconsistent and way too many penalties. We can't have that kind of penalty situation.
Well, one of the things you hope to is that you learn from your successes as well as from your setbacks. And I think the Roughers now will have even a better evaluation point when they look at game film and study that, both coaches and the players, to see what opportunities exist for the weeks to come. And there will be plenty of those, starting with next Friday night's trip to Putnam City and certainly 2 weeks from tonight when they take on Midwest City Carl Albert. But let's take a quick look at the stats, kind of evaluate the numbers and see if it matches up with the 49-27 score.
Roughers rushed 28 times tonight for 315 yards. Jamarian Ficklin 8 of 15 through the air for 231. So the Roughers with 546 yards in offense tonight. 8 penalties, though, for 80 yards, one of them taking away a touchdown for the Ruffers. And as far as individually for Muskogee, the rushing, Beasley with just 5 carries tonight, but had 128 yards. Johnson carried 12 times for 86 yards. Ficklin carried 5 times for 80 yards. So Ruffers got good production on the ground. For the Enid Plainsmen, they rushed 44 times for 170 yards, 16 of 33 passing for Aiden Robinson, and 2 of 47. So Enid had 417 yards in offense tonight, 6 penalties for 50 yards. Fusca by far the ground gainer tonight. He had 31 carries for 115 yards tonight. And Robinson, as we said, was 16 of 33 for 247. So both teams over the 400-yard mark in offense. Ruffers over 500 yards in offense tonight, but kind of an up-and-down game. And probably I don't think the defense played probably quite as well as the coaches would like to have seen tonight.
Well, certainly something to build upon, and we'll build upon that with our choice of our Ruffer Player of the Game. Buffalo Wild Wings Player of the Game. We'll make that choice known to everyone. And after this final 30-second timeout, this is Ruffer Football 2023.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Welcome back on Ruffer TV. Tonight, the Ruffers pick up win number 1 of what they hope might be 13. But you can't win them all unless you win game number 1. That's the old adage. And the Ruffers took care of their business good enough to win it over the Plainsmen 49-27, despite the fact with Enid scoring with no time left on the clock. Each and every week in our broadcast, we talk about it throughout the game, and it's come time now for decision making. And while there are several names, Nick, that I think we could mention this evening, Travion Houston off the defensive side. Dion Bowler, who had that interception back in the first half on a nice individual effort. Some good play, running of Latavian Johnson on the night. And, of course, Caden McGee had that one big play reception for, the 70-plus yard touchdown catch from Bird. Ficklin had a pretty good night himself, but I think it's a consensus pick for everyone here in the booth that our Buffalo Wild Wing Player of the Game award goes to Andre Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley with a great night running. As said, he didn't carry much. He only had 5 carries, but he had 128 yards on some long runs, and then also had 2 receptions for another 66 yards. So he had a pretty good night overall through the air, receiving and running the ball.
So our Buffalo Wild Wing Player of the Game for game number 1, Andre Beasley. We'll pick one of those each and every week here on Ruffer Football 2023. Again, thanks to our studio crew, our student crew who does all the sights and the video production of the game. And most of all, thanks to you for listening here tonight on Okie Country 101.7, KTFX, as well as on Ruffer TV. Until next Friday night, for Ruffer Football and my broadcast partner, Nick Hempton, I'm Bill Huddleston saying so long, and as always,